Meanie.
Chris,
Tatsumaki.
You see
I'm in roll 20.
That's what tornado is in Japanese.
Unless
It's
I closed
Tatsumaki.
it. Oh, I did. I'm a
Tatsumaki.
dumbass.
Tatsumaki.
I'm getting into roll 20 again.
Takoyaki. That stuff's
Oh,
delicious.
that's what the little
I've never had
octopus bits in.
takoyaki.
There's a guy in the Animal Crossing. He is a takoyaki guy, and he looks.
Yeah, he's a squid.
Yeah, and I feel
And
bad
he
for
has
him.
like
Around.
the sauce on his head.
He doesn't like that's like fucked up. That's like I don't know, having a pet chicken and naming it like Parmesan or something.
Do you know what do you want? Do you know what
Parmesan.
messed up is? It's when you go to the cinema and you see those images before the movie starts, and you see these popcorn popcorn person,
yeah.
human eating popcorn.
Yeah.
So this is
Agreed.
cannibalism.
Right there.
Yeah.
Didn't M&M's have a commercial that like addressed that?
I think so. And they were like asking it, but then they never answered the question.
Yeah.
Are we live already?
We are live, yes.
Yeah, we start every session with some good cannibal talk.
I can't tell my
we should.
cannibal joke if we're live. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, I've had enough cannibal jokes. I'm all fed up.
Hail Cobra!
Hail Cobra.
Hail Cobra!
Got how to internet again. There we go.
I don't even know where we are.
This
I've
music
never
reminds
known.
me of RuneScape music.
These snozberries taste like snozberries.
It's very heroic music.
Snoresberry? Who ever heard of a snoresberry?
The schnozberries take like schnozberries. This is some Chrono Trigger music.
Definitely.
Definitely some kind of JRPG music.
What a great game.
And how?
Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger, both of them.
I also liked Chrono Cross. So underrated.
I haven't played either of them, actually. I know
Well,
they're good.
you're gonna
but
have to not do this tonight and go do that instead.
That would take like 90 hours.
Well, it's not my fault that you failed.
Blame my mom. She didn't buy them for me.
I had it.
I was
and
a
I let
wee
my best
tot.
friend Anita borrow it, and then her brother stole it and stole all of her PlayStation stuff and sold it for drug money.
Sounds like somebody needs their legs broken.
I love drug
Well,
money.
he's dead now because he OD'd on heroin.
I
So
love
Oh.
breaking legs.
Oh man.
Wow.
Way to
Talking
go,
about
Nate.
stupid L of the
Isn't
dead.
it weird how the drugs will do that for you sometimes?
Yeah, it's really shitty, actually.
That's why I eat cocaine by the bag.
Like the
Saw
little
a really
bag?
cool cup
Yeah, the
today
bags.
that
Yeah.
had a cat on it, and it just said cocaine, and the cat looked really mad, and it was great.
Yeah.
Loved it.
cocaine and cocaine accessories.
When I make banana bread, I
yeah.
substitute the flour with cocaine.
Oh.
I also substitute the sugar with cocaine, and the bananas. But other than that, oh wait, and the eggs. Yeah,
Oh.
that would be weird. Just eggs and cocaine. Come on.
All right. we
And here I was worried
Are-
about telling my cannibal joke.
are live.
We're not live. Don't lie, Hunter. We can say
Everybody-
all the horrible things.
Everybody knew we were live, and still they continued.
Hey, nothing wrong with a conversation about booger sugar, okay?
I mean, in our contract, it stipulates that we cannot do illegal drugs on stream.
Yeah. Well, and hey, we're not promoting the use of illegal drugs here.
Not at all.
But if they're legal where you're at, then by all means.
Very clearly said that my friend's little brother died from an overdose, so not.
I have an important question. Is mayonnaise an illegal drug?
Yes.
It should
Don't eat
be.
that sandwich. You better not.
Here.
Don't eat that sandwich.
I guess I'm just gonna have
Yeah.
to shove it up my butt.
If it's Miracle Whip though, that's not mayonnaise, so you're good.
Yeah.
Fair enough, fair enough. Too late though. I threw mayonnaise on it.
Bad move. Bad move.
Okay, so welcome to the official Zweihander RPG Twitch channel. We are joining you here today as Fiends and Friends. You can see our fun little logo in the bottom right corner of the screen. Fiends and Friends is a gaming collective that is dedicated to bringing you the best and most creative, most inclusive, most fun tabletop RPG content that you can find anywhere on God's green internet. And so the 6 of us, plus a few other people, constitute Fiends and Friends, and this is our regular Friday show known as Scarlet Sash Stories, which is produced in partnership with the official Zweihander RPG publishing company known as Grim and Perilous Publishing, facilitated by Daniel D. Fox, the wonderful co-creator, community manager, all-around Zweihander guy. So we are here tonight with episode 13 of Scarlet Sash Stories, continuing the adventures of Celine, Hart, Lillian, Nabeen, and now our new character that was added last episode, Nesgrin. I'm going to turn it over to these 5 wonderful people to hit you with a recap of what happened last episode. I'm going to go grab my clipboard and pieces of paper that I left upstairs and let them take it away. All right, so you guys entertain the audience with a recap. I will be right back.
Cody, you're up.
Oh, okay.
Rude.
It was a dark and stormy night when we stumbled upon a man with 3 arms, 2 on his right side holding a large lance, riding a howl bear.
It was an orcs, thank you very
And
much.
he was an orcs with a mohawk made of gems. And we said, "Hey man, you've been killing a lot of people. Can't be doing that." He said, "Fight me if you want to talk to me." And so we did. And 2 of us won, and 1 of us got the shit kicked out of them. We'll go ahead and just, Bet you're wondering how I got into this situation. We brought that guy back on over to the fort to face the Lord's justice, at which point a duel was arranged. We did everything we could to make sure it was fair. But hark! Betrayal! But not from where we thought it was. Betrayal from the anti-noble citizens living within this Lord's territory, as they fired crossbow bolts into the Lord and his son from high up in the balconies. We stopped them, put an end to the treachery, but not before one Heart dragged the noble lord into a tent to shelter him, sent away his guard, and then silently executed the noble to no one's potential awareness, seemingly getting away with it scot-free. So killing one of the horrible lords, the other one just having been maimed sort of by happenstance, leaving the daughter, who, while seemingly the best head on her shoulders, also still hated us. Successfully achieving our goal of bringing peace to the area. We saved our orcs compatriot, who we exiled to go and perhaps find the other orcs that we had dealt with in the past. Proving ourselves to be strangely friends to a lot of the monsters that we've encountered, despite the fact that they are products of chaos and we are monster hunters. After this, we decided that we would set our path back towards the fort to inform them of our successful mission, along with our new compatriot, who we were bringing back, along with his report, or her report, that there was another orcs that had slaughtered a whole group of other Scarlet Sash members.
And that's where we are. And Hunter just left us here.
Yeah, and this is also the once again, as a reminder, this is tying together the basically the 3 different orcs mutants that we've encountered, all of which who had some kind of encounter with the darkness, the shadows, and the Doctor. 2 other entities whose stories we've yet to understand in this play of events.
Yeah, and so we left off with the 5 plus Welker, the orc, having just been freed from his I guess freed is the wrong term. Having sort of been exonerated through trial by combat within the walls of the estate. And so we find our intrepid heroes probably somewhere outside the estate, probably on their way back to Fort Bodeswell, maybe Welker in tow, depending on how they wanted to dismiss him.
We're gonna reach out to his sister. Come on, Hunter.
So yeah,
He's
so
gonna
then,
go find her.
Yeah.
so what do the Sash Bears do with Welker before returning to? Well, I guess before deciding what to do next.
Welker
So-
already left.
Yeah, Welker was. We told him we communicated with what's her bucket. You said that we
I
had
just
that
told
we were
Hunter,
able to communicate with them.
and he didn't listen.
Oh, I thought you said that you needed to contact.
No, I said we did.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, then you sent off Welker, and now it is time to presumably return to Fort Bodeswell.
Yeah, I gotta make some healing checks on Nab on the walk home.
Yeah. please
I
don't.
hope she dies. What?
So she did get the
Good.
successful surgery for her injury.
Yeah.
So she will be. It was 9 days. So a day has elapsed. So she has 8 days left on healing her concussion.
Yeah, but we have to heal her health still, right?
Well, yeah. So I'm just saying that you don't need to do anything extra for the concussion anymore. It is sort of on the mend naturally now.
How many days do I have to roll to try and heal her?
So the estate was roughly a whole day's travel. Or no, sorry, 2 days travel, because it was
Yeah, I thought it was 2.
it was
yeah.
a day to Metzger, and then at Metzger a day to Fort Bodeswell.
So I make 2 checks.
Yeah, so you can make 2 checks. The travel will be uneventful for the most part, since you have already. Ooh,
Oh, there you
good
go.
success.
Good start.
Here, now we can take the cotton out of your ears now, Nab.
What?
Yeah, no, this is coming out. You're better now.
Oh.
You're better.
Okay.
She says with like a
Does a crit
fractured
heal
skull.
too?
It heals 2 steps, yeah. So she'll be 2 steps up on the damage track, which
I'm unharmed.
yeah should put you back to full.
Yeah. You're all better, other than the crack in your skull.
Yeah.
I don't do crack.
Don't
Not
lie.
anymore. You're in prison.
On the way back, Celine would like to look for a rat as usual.
All right, hit me with survival. You can do, let's say, over the course of the 2 days, you have 3 opportunities to find a rat.
All right.
Are you asking for help? Because I can help.
Bam.
Was that
No,
Bam?
she's not gonna ask for help.
Okay, yeah. I
was
thought
Bam
that
fail.
was I am.
Bam, fail. Okay, I got the second one. I was maybe going for, the second one. I was maybe going for a second rat.
All right, so you are able to. You're getting better at this. Snag a rat from the underbrush during one of the camps.
Hell yeah! And now we start training him. Now that we have him,
Master
because I
Splinter.
want. Yes, he's gonna be Master Splinter, and I'm gonna get some turtles, and I'm gonna mutate him with the black mass, and I'm gonna call them my Ninja Turtles.
Interesting.
So what
Um,
constitutes training a wild rat?
I have no idea. I would
Have you
assume
ever played
handle animal.
Punch-Out?
Hunter, you're the one who's
It's like
supposed to know this.
when Doc is.
No,
or
I meant-
when
I
Little
meant-
Mac is running behind Doc on the bike.
Yeah, he eats eggs.
Basically, make the rat comfortable with me, teach him tricks, get him to listen, things like that.
Okay, yeah. My question was more narrative. What you are doing with the animal.
Okay, yeah, I mean, for now, she's gonna have to keep him in a jar because it's the best she's got. She's still got that possibly molding or very hard lump of cheese by now that she stole that was never very good. So giving him some of that and just basically trying to get the rat used to her. So,
Whispering sweet nothings to the rat.
exactly, shh, mommy loves you.
And so let's look at the roll.
Does Nate speak rat?
Yes. This is how you speak rat. Woo, spooky.
You're confusing rats and ghosts again.
No. Definitely not.
No one would blame you. I mean, rats, ghosts, they're practically the same.
Rats are awesome.
Just to confirm real quick, since it's 2 days of travel, I now have 6 days of being concussed.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you gonna roll, Nate?
Yeah, sorry. Do you want any pluses or minuses?
Nope. Just flat handle animal.
Okay. Let's go. Yeah, we're off to a good start.
Yeah, so this is the first success in a series of rolls that will be required. But yeah, so you give it food, show it that you mean it no harm, presumably. And, rat feels pretty comfortable with you after a few hours. And you can travel with it in its jar or whatever on your way back to Fort Bodeswell.
All right.
All right. Anything else on the route? Anything that anybody wants to do in Metzger on your stop through?
I guess this is more for fluff than anything, but is the rat male or female so I can give it a proper name?
It's male.
All right. His name is now Winslow. Welcome to the party, Winslow.
Hey, that's a good name.
I'll hang out with those two girls in Metzger while we're there.
Not the kids.
I like those girls. They're gonna grow up to be adventurers.
Yeah, so you're able to find them pretty easily. Your arrival in town is always hotly anticipated. And again, there are already Lumerlin soldiers, non-sash bearers, who have established a little guard post fort thing here in Metzger. And so, word spreads quickly around town, and everybody comes out to see you and thank you again, and they put you up in the nice inn in the center of town where the butcher mayor of Metzger wields his influence. And yeah, so then I forgot to loop that song, so we're gonna play a new one. But the road continues to... I had a good one for this. Continues to Fort Bodeswell. And you arrive at the fort. 2 days have passed. Nabeen has 6 days left for concussion recovery. You are met at the gate, as always, by the bulldog-looking guard and his little accomplice standing at the gate.
Oh boy.
And he looks at the
He's my
five.
best friend.
He looks at the 5 of you, and he looks at Nesgrin, and he says, "Ain't you the one that went out with that other group?"
Yes, I am. Well, they were all killed by the orcs.
All killed by an orcs. That's a likely story. I'm surprised.
So he doesn't
Are we going?
believe us when we kill orcs, doesn't believe us when orcs kill us. Not sure exactly what he thinks orcs do. But I guess that's not surprising, having never seen one.
I mean,
You must think
he's a
that
foot soldier.
he
He's
made
not
us a
that bright.
tea. Gather with orcs and have tea parties.
Yeah, that's tea parties.
Are
Isn't
we-
that right, Bulldog?
Yeah.
Let me just clarify. Are we saying this out loud? Can he hear us talking shit about him?
Hell yeah.
Oh, we talk shit about
we
him all
talked
the time.
his shit about him last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave him some goopy spider mass.
Like,
Yeah, he didn't
have
like
this.
that.
Yeah, he didn't. He tossed it aside, and I'm like, wasteful, and put it back in my jar. And I'm gonna approach him this time, and Celine's gonna be like, "You'll never guess what I got this time." She'll reach into her bag,
And he kind of cringes away from you, and he's like,
and she thrusts the jar with the rat into it right in front of his face.
and he briefly recoils, and then he looks at it, and he's like, "Why the heck do you have a rat in a jar?"
His name is Winslow, and he's more of a man than you'll ever be, bitch.
He looks at Celine and looks at the other four, and he's like, "You're all insane. Just go inside."
She'll wink at him as she leaves.
Did I move you guys here? I did. Sweet. So yeah, you return to Fort Bodeswell. All three of the bounties. Oh, you made a check mark. Sorry, I X'd it out. All three of the bounties completed. And yeah, so now it is time for Nabeen to recover, and presumably Captain Macias is going to want to speak to you guys at some point, as well as Agent Bruce. And yeah, so there are a variety of things that I assume many of you want to do. Let's see. Nazgrid, you will be requested to meet with Captain Macias individually first, since you were the only one of your cohort to return. And so he calls you up to his office in the keep, and he looks at you and says, "Well, I knew this would happen eventually. I got word that your group, you're the only one to return. Can you tell me what happened at least? I see that you fell in with the other cohort, and which is excellent. You made it back. I just need to know. We sent you after that report of some kind of strange orcs infiltrating camps or something like that."
Yeah, we were out of patrol, and then suddenly one of the guys from the patrol started killing people, killing their friends, and we couldn't figure it out. And when we figured out, it was too late. Then we will discover that he was like a face changer. He could disguise himself, but it wasn't a disguise. It was far better than disguise. This orc could mimic all their mannerism, and he speaks like him, and he could talk. He has memories. It was very weird. It was very difficult to know what was happening. And when we learned what was happening, it was too late. They were all killed.
That is horrifying.
It is.
So you're telling me that not only do we have orc spiders and orc witches and orc knights, that we also have some kind of shape-changing, face-stealing orcs out there.
Yes.
And
And it's very difficult.
he sits back for a second, and you can tell he's like really looking at you now. And kind of shifts uncomfortably, and he's like, "All right, I will keep that under advisement. Sounds very dangerous. I'll spread the word to the other forts to keep on the lookout. If they're, maybe at some point someone can deal with that. And I'm sorry that obviously you and your companions didn't make it.
Well, is this or the jail?
So he kind of chuckles darkly, and he's like, "True, I suppose those are the two choices." And he makes some notes on with his quill and parchment and everything, and then he'll dismiss you. So before you were a prisoner, you were a raconteur or a racketeer?
Racketeer.
Oh, and that's like straight up a gangster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, I was more in the security.
Sorry.
Enterprise.
A security professional.
Businesses, not not get wrecked, but awful, really, really awful people.
Yeah.
They have to pay a fee, you know how it is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give them protection for free.
Yes. I didn't mean to misspeak. So, what do you think Nesgrin... What kind of niche do you think you would fill within a military fort? You're kind of like bottom of the rung in terms of like rank and stuff like that, but that can have maybe surprising benefit in terms of like being able to do things around the fort. So far, Celine, our hedgewise, has found a little bit of a niche working with the fort magician, whose name is Phineas. So he is responsible for providing all of the magical services for the regiment here at Fort Bodeswell. Hart kind of has a thing going with the drill sergeant Matcha. They spar occasionally. She gave him a really nice sword. Lillian has established a fledgling congregation.
Oh no!
of believers, worshippers among the soldiers of Fort Bodeswell. Is my sound coming through? 1 second. I need to make sure I didn't.
Like, on the stream?
Yeah, my subtitles were popping up at the bottom of the screen showing what I was saying, which was weird because it shouldn't do that. Okay, so Lillian has begun administering religious help to some of the soldiers, which is a bit of a sticking point with the captain because he doesn't believe religion has any place on the battlefield. And Nabeen, being a veteran of a famous regiment previously before being arrested, Nabeen has found a few adoring fans who she trains with occasionally in the fort. And so those are some of the sort of downtime home activities that people have adopted. Trish, when she was with us as a active player, was sort of pursuant of rumors and information and eavesdropping and that sort of thing. So I'll give you like a few minutes to think of like where Nesgrin might like congregate or spend time in the fort or something like that. There's like the quartermaster, there's the cook who hates everybody. There's like the stables and just like a whole host of places that you could be doing things these few days that you guys are home at the fort. And so then let's go to
Spooky.
It is a little bit spooky. I think it gets less spooky as the song progresses. Who wants to do their stuff first?
Celine will step forward. I mean,
Yeah.
Celine will do her
Can
stuff.
we all stand in a line and wait?
Yeah,
for
yeah. A few days of just standing perfectly still.
This is a good plan. This will get me unconcussed real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. So Celine, first things first, is gonna make up some excuse like I gotta use the bathroom and break away from the group. She'll head to the bathroom and then she'll head to the barracks or whatever, making sure no one's around, and when she does, then she's gonna go into her little hidey hole in there.
Yeah.
Cause she's gotta stash her black mass again.
Yeah.
Because she has to
Alright.
carry it with her, and she doesn't want to go see the is that's not the huntsman, is it? What's it called?
Woodsman.
The woodsman. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Because of the friggin' witch sight, she'll friggin' see me immediately with it. So she'll put her goodies there, and she'll kind of cover them up and make sure no one's out in the barracks when she crawls out of her hidey hole. Then she wants to. Some of the things she'll do, she will spend time like training her rat. She will spend time. I want to still look for something that can block the vision of witch sight,
Okay.
so I can leave it there safely. So I don't know what kind of role you want me to do for that.
Do incantation. This is basically like, we can say it's like the culmination of you studying and maybe talking to Phineas about it in like roundabout terms. Yeah.
Okay. Do I get a bonus or anything, or just flat?
No, we'll just do flat right now.
Okay. Damn it!
And what was
gonna happen
the
every time.
result?
It's 90.
Dang. That
I'm
won't-
never gonna get this.
Um,
Oh god.
let me make one. You do have plenty of fortune tokens. They reset.
Fine, I'll use one. Watch
it.
me waste it, Hunter.
Do it.
Selfish. Oh wait, that's interrogation. Haha!
Aha!
Haha!
So while you are going about your business, feeling anxious about the Black Mass and Agent Bruce, because you see her like walking around the fort and doing things and receiving letters and all that. She hasn't like approached you guys directly yet. But yeah, so you see, you and Phineas are talking about magic and that sort of thing. And I had the material here. I just need to find it. But basically, you don't really trick him, but you basically drive the conversation towards like what you're interested in. You're like, well, you know, what if there was something that could block magic or hamper it or something like that? And I think I'm in the wrong
It says
book.
yogurt. Yogurt is the only thing I found that works.
Who is this guy? Is he Galir?
It's some yogurt.
Some yogurt.
Was
I
it
seem to have got yogurt on my bathrobe.
was it Main Gouch that had the like the crafting material?
Yeah, all the yogurt details. I think that was Main Gouch.
All the yogurt details.
Main Gouch had all the different types of yogurt canonical to Zweihander.
Hell yeah. That's my kind of game.
Here we go.
What do you mean the word yogurt isn't found in here once? Control F. Stupid.
It's probable that you don't know how to spell it.
Oh, right. I forgot. There's a G at the front.
Did
So
you forget the 3 silent H's in it?
Yeah.
he in the process of this conversation basically lets slip or alludes to the idea that in Voshake Tadberg they had a bunch of specially made like restraints and stuff for keeping wizards and magicians and whatever in prison. And what made them work is bronze inlays of specific like runes and stuff, because bronze has magic dampening properties inherently.
That is fancy.
And so you clock that away as sort of a lead on, if you wanted like a box or a container to hide the emanations of the winds of magic from the black mass, bronze is probably a good place to start.
Okay, so now I have to figure out how to get a hold of a bronze box.
Exactly.
We do have the smith, but I have no idea what I would even tell him to get me one.
I mean, if you went and talked to Sella or the smith directly, you certainly could give it a shot.
Convince
Sella
what's his
is-
bucket to make it to ask for it for you.
What's
Sella
this
Sella
bucket?
is the
That helps
quartermaster.
so much.
No, the
Okay.
mage guy. Convince the mage guy to go ask for it to be made for you, so it's not suspicious when you get it.
I mean, I feel like it's gonna be suspicious if I ask him even. He knows
No,
what it
you
can
can-
do.
You can play this guy like a fiddle. Tell him you just want it for experiments.
He is generally naive. You sort of got that impression upon first meeting Phineas, that he is maybe a little out of his element, kind of disorganized, just kind of doing his own magic thing as part of the military. But yeah, like easily flustered, maybe not super. He's like a good kid.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I guess I will talk to him about it to see if he can help me get like a. And I won't do this the same day. I'll do it like.
Yeah. This would be over the course
So,
of.
Yeah, talk to him later. Be like, hey, anyway, like we can get like the blacksmith or Stella to get us like a little bronze box or anything.
Well, what for?
This is always the problem. I never know.
Nate is a
Damn!
bad liar.
You stumped me.
Damn, a bad liar.
As someone who
But
likes to play deceptive and cunning characters,
I am very bad at it. She will. There's no fast talk or anything either, really.
Charm, guile
Yeah.
is essentially fast talk. Rumor not appropriate really to this idea.
Take out of those, did I?
could he try to make like a
I guess.
the
An
magic
like an
incantation?
incantation.
Like just to like try and like say some magic mumbo jumbo that's just like
She will be like, she'll come up with the excuse like, I go out and I gather a lot of like these materials or whatever, like, and a lot of them emanate the winds of magic, and sometimes they interfere with my witch sight when I'm looking for something. So if I can have something like that, because like in the case of the black mass, it was always there because it was on my person.
Yeah.
So if I could have something to like reduce that, it would help out with my witch sight and locating certain things, because less interference,
All right.
He's gonna roll with that.
Yeah, hit
That's
that.
good.
Hit that charm plus 20.
that's a good excuse.
Okay, thank God.
Nice. Yeah, so he, Phineas, he listens to it and he's like, that's actually, I'd never thought of that. I don't really do much field work, but I imagine out there, especially as you get closer to the fallen star and everything, it could get really confusing if you, with the background winds and everything, you're carrying your own stuff. I can put in a work order for you.
Oh yeah, thanks, Phineas. You the man. Okay, so we got that. God, I gotta think of a reason to go talk to the captain. She's gonna go find Lillian,
Okay.
because Lillian's a talker and Celine is awkward as shit.
What do you need
So
me to do?
I need an excuse to go see the captain, besides to just see him.
Oh. Well, I mean, Didn't you guys like hit it off the other night?
I mean, kind of, but I think the spider thing kind of turned him off. Turns out he's not a fan of spiders.
Yeah, most men aren't. So we just need an excuse for you to talk to him for something?
Yes.
Can I know why?
She just looks at you like you're an idiot. She's like, you know why? You've tried to help me.
Oh, for that. Okay. I didn't know if,
Yes. Oh my god.
didn't know if it was something, I don't know, more important.
No! Wait, yes, this is the most important thing. This is all that matters here at Fort Bodeswell.
I think I can come up with a pretty important excuse. I'll go in and then I'll excuse myself. I've got a plan. So we'll go to the captain's office.
Okay.
Probably like right around when he would be like taking his lunch,
Sure.
and give like a couple of raps at the door.
And or
Or is there like a guard there,
well,
like a steward?
there's nobody guarding in the fort. But the assistant guy that you've seen before, he answers the door. And he looks at the two of you.
Do I know his name?
I don't think
Does he
I
have a
literally ever gave him a name.
Noel. Is that it?
What is it?
Noel.
Yeah, his name is Noel.
Hell yeah.
We'll just make it with an O.
There you go.
Noel, we came to talk to the captain about some sensitive matters of a magical nature relating to the last mission.
Ooh, I'm interested.
Oh
wait, yeah.
And he
You're like, wait, yeah?
yeah.
looks over his shoulder, and you can see the captain's at his desk, doing stuff, and he'll say, you know, these two say they have some kind of magical business to discuss with you. And he looks at the two of you, and there's like a weird facial expression on his face, and he's like, yeah, okay, you know, I have time. You just leave the food here, Noel, and I'll see what they need.
You're the best, Noel.
And yeah, so he goes out the door that you guys come in and shuts it behind you.
So I'll walk in and I'll like, you know, take a seat or whatever. And Noel left as well?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take a seat with you, and then I'm just gonna start talking about how we think that there might be some like unique connection between like the orcs and the witch stone, and how perhaps we should start considering ways that we could find deposits of witch stone. And then after like, I don't know, like only like 4 or 5 minutes, I'm gonna be like, oh, excuse me, I need to apologies, lady business.
You left the oven on again.
I left the oven on.
I was waiting for it, honestly.
I left the oven. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
always hanging out with the cook.
Yeah.
He really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lillian can awkwardly exit, and the captain is sitting, looking expectantly at Celine to hear about.
Okay. She'll be like, so did you miss me? And just.
And you can see he like kind of puts his hand in his face, and he's like, I have to say that I do worry about you guys. And he kind of adds guys at the end a little bit.
Yeah.
And he says, you know, I'm not used to this arrangement. You know, normally my soldiers and I have the same, you know, mission. We're doing the same things. There's a established chain of command, and there's, you know, we all are expected to do essentially the same tasks while we're on campaign. But here we are, sitting in Fort Bodeswell, sending out, the most unprepared individuals that I've ever seen, while myself and my trained soldiers do effectively nothing but protect the border. And now here comes the woodsman, interested in God knows what, superseding or at least paralleling my jurisdiction here in Fort Bodeswell. And then there's you.
She just smiles when he says that. Yes, I like to think I am generally prepared, or at least go into things relatively prepared.
I have to say that you have not disappointed yet. I always half expect you and your group to end up like that other group that went out and murdered in a ditch by some unknown monster, but you go out and have seemingly always come back.
It's gonna take more than some orcs and being lit on fire to kill me.
He's like, I was gonna ask, how are you and Hart faring after being severely burned? You both looked terrible upon returning from that mission.
It wasn't fun at all, obviously, but if it had worked out, if it hadn't backfired quite literally, it would have been great. But it didn't, and it hurt like hell. And the Hart tried to put me out, and it hurt like hell for him too.
And he, again, sort of reflexively touches the, scarring on his face near his goatee. He's like, I've had my fair share of experience with burns and fire on the battlefield, and it's certainly one of those things that can rapidly get out of control.
Yeah.
But I guess...
I made it pretty stern stuff. I mean, Hart passed out. I didn't, so that says something.
That's fair, I suppose. He always struck me as maybe strong of body, but on the inside maybe a little soft.
Dunderhead.
He's gonna move closer. He's like, I need to talk to you about Hart now that I think about it.
He backs away, eyes wide. He's like, okay.
I'm pretty sure he's got demons in his blood.
He raises his eyebrows. Demons in his blood.
This is like the equivalent of your magic, the most magically capable person at the fort.
Yeah,
telling him this.
Also, just before I forget, Nate, I put a very special hashtag in today's Instagram post for you.
Oh god, you did? I'll have to check it out later. Hashtag get with the captain. So she'll be like, yeah, so he, you know how Hart was, kind of an asshole, treated us all like shit and whatnot. You remember that, right?
He seemed to be gruff. I mean, anybody in your position, has fair right to be angry at their lot in life.
Yeah, understandable. Well, didn't like any of us. After that mission on our way back, he was completely different. Super nice, treated Lady Lillian like some hoity-toity noble and willing to serve her, and just I'm worried. He never acts like this. Lillian and I were very concerned and have been. Even with the Orc's Knight, he's different. I think something's wrong with him. He needs checked out, I think.
And this is after having unsuccessfully put out your fire and being severely burned?
Yes.
And he'll sit back and fold his hands. He's like, well, Celine, this is possibly your first encounter with, battlefield injuries and the grave stresses of combat. But I have to say that in my time leading this regiment and the many campaigns that we have undertaken, I have seen men and women seemingly die, run through the heart, burned to a crisp, blasted with shrapnel, and through some stroke of luck or willpower or I don't know what to call it. And you notice that he specifically doesn't mention deities at all. That when they come back, either something that was there before is gone, or something that wasn't there before has emerged. And it's possible that what you're seeing with Heart is not necessarily demons in the blood, and maybe could be instead a resolution or a determination to do better by those around him. Because I assume that it was you and Lillian and Nabeen and Trish who saved him.
Trish.
Yeah, I mean, she was kind of there.
I mean, we carried him back, I guess.
And so, a man can die, and a man can come back, and sometimes things change.
It seems weird. I'm gonna keep an eye on him.
And he's like, "Well, sure. I mean, I suppose there are other options. I'm just speaking
More or less weird than demons in the blood."
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm simply speaking from battlefield experience. Demons from the blood would be sort of out of my wheelhouse. But if you are concerned, I will take it under advisement.
Yes. She's kind of like, I'll take your word for it some sense. You do have more battlefield experience than me. I mean, I just kind of roamed the forest for a while and did my own thing, after bailing on my home village because people suck. But anyways, and she'll just so we don't spend too much time on this. She'll just kind of talk to him and kind of distract him from the magically inclined, unless he tries to revert back to it, and just talk with him, yada yada, like we just
and he
some here and there. So
and he relaxes into the regular conversation and sort of seemingly forgets the initial impetus, because you guys kind of did you guys describe to him already the connections that you thought you were seeing, or was that just Agent Bruce?
It may have just been Agent Bruce. Do you remember, Cody?
I don't know if we would have gotten into much detail. If anyone would have, it would have been Celine during her
That's what
expose.
I was thinking. When you showed him everything, did you I don't think you really went into detail about the Doctor in the Shadows and all of that.
I think she may have mentioned it, but I don't think she ever delved into it because she was very focused on the things before her. So she was presenting.
Either way, he doesn't pry about the magical conversation. And so you guys have a fairly regular chat as he eats his lunch, and
right.
Yeah, and it's a sort of companionable, just light conversation about the fort, and he mentions that the airship is up and running again, and that's made Captain Dupree really happy, and he talks about, he kind of begins to talk about some concern about some of the soldiers congregating for what appear to be religious meetings or whatever, and then he kind of looks and remembers himself and steers away from the topic a little bit.
I can check it out.
And he's like, "Oh, are you religious?"
I mean, I don't know if I'm necessarily religious, but with magic and all, there's definitely more going on, and I know a little bit about demons and stuff, and some of them are much more powerful and can influence things to where they might, I don't know if they'd be considered deity level, but they're very powerful and very terrifying, and you would never want to be on their bad side, I could tell you that much. But I don't know that much about them. I've never encountered them, just learned about them in some of my travels and studies.
And he nods and he's like, well, I certainly believe in demons. I'm more concerned with my men and women devoting effort and time to beings that may or may not exist, and if they exist, certainly don't stoop to our level to provide a hand when needed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the demons definitely interfere much more than the gods would if they're a thing. So
yeah, and he nods. He's like, that's certainly been my experience, at least, is that you can pray and you can pray, and when it comes down to it, all that matters is what you actually do. And he says, if you're willing to, take a look at this for me, anytime that I happen to be walking the courtyard, they scatter fairly rapidly and pretend that they were doing something else. Yeah, if you could let me know when you have the time, if they are, having religious services, what exactly is the what's going on? I'm just a little curious.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. I have no problems with that. Celine has no issues selling out.
Good luck.
Freaking has Lillian help her talk to the captain, now selling out Lillian. So yeah, we can finish up there.
Don't worry. I have faith things will work out.
You will gain a corruption, Celine, just as this.
That's intentional, though. He wants that.
Yeah,
I know. So okay, so she'll do the rest with the captain, or whatever, and bid him adieu.
Okay.
And do some horrid little curtsy that she's just like, eh.
Yeah.
And, the last couple things, she will obviously surprisingly show up to Lillian's sermons and only make a few wisecracks here and there.
As soon as you are walking out, I'm like waiting outside, and I'm like, I'm telling you, next time you've got to let me get at that hair. He'll like you so much more if it's just get at the bare minimum.
Just puts her hands
on
her ears.
Leaves.
Why do you do this to me? Why can't you accept me for who I am? You're worse than my mom!
You're trying to get with someone who is cleaner than you have ever been in your entire life.
As we have this screaming match outside the captain's door. Oh, God.
And we're outside the building. We're outside the fort.
Oh, you were outside the building. Okay, I was like, oh my God.
No, I mean, I lied to him about basically being on my period. I'm not going to do that and then wait outside the door.
Okay.
It's an elf period, Chris. Don't raise your eyebrows at me.
Huh?
Oh, I said, it's an elf period. Don't raise your eyebrows at me.
I was raising my eyebrows at Stormageddon.
Oh, okay.
She will end up brushing off and be like, I don't need to mess with my hair. And then later she'll probably try and mess with it herself and clean it up a little bit.
Just like any good mother, as long as the lessons stick. That's the most important.
Fuck you.
Yeah, so that's a perfect segue to Lillian.
Sure. Couple more things with any extra time she has. She's gonna look for any hole out of the base at night, and then she's also gonna spend time with Phineas doing research, and that's it.
A hole under the wall, or
you can sneak out and not get caught, basically.
Oh, like a secret exit.
Yep, basically.
Do awareness like -10.
Okay, I can do that.
You mean 40?
Minus. Nope, no success.
Yeah. So you,
okay, that's fine.
in your free time, sort of scour the perimeter, looking for, some way to sneak out. And obviously, it's a fort, and so they do a pretty good job of not allowing that. And then yeah, hanging with Phineas, and we can always come back to you.
No, yeah, and that's fine. So I just wanted to make sure I got that across and let everybody else do their thing.
Sure. Lillian, so you return to Fort Bodeswell, and immediately you see that your congregation has grown.
Hey, Hunter.
Yes.
We got another bot.
We got a view bot.
Yeah.
Ooh,
We can
baby!
become
Oh my
famous.
Another opportunity to become famous?
All right, I know all these people are seeking us out. It's like
Big
it's destiny,
follows.
guys.
My favorite. Okay.
Gumtaro,
So we killed the bot.
my hero.
Okay. So yes, Lillian, they give you wide berth as when you first arrive, but the one individual guy who we gave a name, but I totally forgot. The first dude who approached you, who's like a young blonde.
Somehow I didn't take this guy's name either.
I swear we gave him a name.
No, we did for sure.
It's probably-
I got notes of a lot of the important people, but somehow
Yeah.
I didn't get that one. I got Helen and Anastasia, my Cowtown girls.
Let's see. Well, he's getting a new name.
All right,
'Cause I
we'll
don't
call
remember.
him Brock Lesnar in honor of Chris's favorite show.
All right,
Yeah.
Brock. So this is Footman Brock, the strapping young blonde, religiously interested, terrified of Captain Micaeus, but motivated enough to reach out to you. And he and his sort of friend group approach you, and they are obviously ecstatic that you returned alive. One of them points to your two axes, and they're like, "Oh man, like that's awesome. Where'd you get those?"
I actually had them made while we were out on patrol. We found some abandoned mining supplies or smithing supplies, and so found some high quality steel, brought it back, and we had the smith make these for me.
That's awesome. Those are really nice. I'm glad that other people are at least helping you out, taking notice of what you're doing for us here at the fort.
Yeah, if you work hard, even someone from my station can show their value, I think.
When are you planning to do another service soon? We've been trying to make do without you for these last few days. I think maybe Captain Micaeus is catching on. We've been careful, but he's been out in the courtyard more than is normal, and obviously if we're all huddled in a corner or sitting on stumps or whatever, he gets a little suspicious.
Yeah, and I mean, it's his right and his position. I think that we've done a pretty good job for the most part of keeping our conversations in the realm of motivational speeches for
Yeah.
the most part. But as long as you're dedicated to your work and your station, I don't see as there should be much of a conflict of interests.
Well, I sure hope so. He's made it pretty clear in the past that he doesn't want this sort of thing, and obviously we feel differently, but it's been a point of conflict before.
Well, if it becomes a point of conflict again, I'm certain he will know who to talk to, and that's a conversation that he and I can have should push come to shove.
All right. Well, we look forward to the next time that you can lead us.
Yeah, of course. And I'll clap him on the shoulder and give him a big old grin and say, it seems like you guys are hanging in here pretty well though for the most part. Are you feeling that same tension, or are you feeling a little bit more ease here at the fort?
A little better. It's nice. The dreams aren't as bad for most of us. It's nice that we have people in, Metzger and places like that. The other forts have made progress across the border with what they're also doing. And it's nice to hear back from those soldiers, and they haven't been torn in half or eaten by a monster or anything.
Yeah.
So it seems like progress, and that's sort of what we were hoping for.
That's an important part of it for sure. And I'm sure I'll end up talking about it, one of these evenings, but for all of the wickedness that the Starfall has brought upon the land, there are things moving in ways that are truly confounding to the standard mind, I think. Me and my buddies have had a conversation with an orcs. Second time on 3 missions. Truly confounding.
And he like furrows his brow. He's like, well, I thought, we've always been told that orcs are, mindless monsters. It's literally people that have been transformed, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that that's normally true, but something in the winds of magic has changed. I have my doubts that it's a blessing or anything as such, but I'm sure the reports will hit us soon enough from where were we just at?
So you were at the Savang estate.
Is just the area? Just
yeah, it controls a fairly large
area.
Yeah, it would be comparable to like the town of Metzger or whatever.
Sure.
In terms of influence.
I'm sure the reports from this Fang estate will get here soon enough, but a good how many people? Like 100 people, maybe more.
Probably a few more. Yeah, like 200-ish.
Yeah. So a good more than well over 100 citizens of the Savang estate witnessed an orc face trial by combat honorably and succeed and basically face justice and be passed innocent. Truly something that no one I could have convinced no one at this fort to believe had they not seen it with their own eyes.
And he kind of chuckles a little bit, and he's like, well, now you're starting to sound like a traveling bard or something, the grand tales of the troll under the bridge becoming a stonemason or whatever.
Well, maybe we can find one of the guys that can play the lute, and we'll put something together for it. How about that?
And he laughs. He's like, "Oh, maybe that could be nice. A little rest and relaxation, some music and laughs. Could do good for the fort."
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I'm happy to do like one of those things if you want me to do one, so that you have one for Nate to overhear.
Yeah. So we could. Oh, I just broke my pen.
Way to go.
We can do. You'll do a few of them probably because you guys are going to be here for at least a week before you go back out.
After everything that I saw on the last mission, like all of my talks are going to be about like brotherhood and the like supporting of one another and like listening, like the importance of like all of those sorts of things, because we were betrayed not by the people who we thought, would, befouled by their own pride, but by the people who were, so resistant to following, orders or instructions that they caused the havoc on their own. And that's sort of going to be the subject of like, I don't know, like a week's sermons
just
or whatever.
a bunch of sermons. And are you being robbed, Nate?
There's like either a vehicle backfiring a lot because some dickhead's in his driveway working on it and like revving it or something. So I don't know.
So it sounds like gunshots.
Unless it's like storming, but it doesn't sound like gunshots. It's just like the sound from the window when it pops is weird.
I hope you're not the victim of a home invasion.
And now it stopped.
I just saw you like looking behind you, and I was like, I know Nate lives alone, so it's just like.
I mean, there's the window there, but the door is like off that way, so I can see it from here if anyone ever tried to enter.
If anyone ever tries to come out of this, let me know, because that is truly my nightmare.
Behind you,
I missed it
in the camera.
The
the window or the door that's like right over his shoulder. It's like the dark rectangle.
Yeah.
Hunter never stops gameplay to see what I'm looking at over my shoulders.
I saw you looking down, but I also know you have 3 cats. And Nate.
Yeah, well.
She's showing off her RPG books.
Yeah, she's flexing.
If you move back the way you were, you can see that.
No, my RPG books are downstairs on the shelf, except for like those.
Yeah.
6.
But yeah, so Celine, you have ample opportunity to eavesdrop on or attend
she will eavesdrop and crack wisecracks occasionally like she does.
Oh, please do. I mean, in my head, I imagine that this is more Baptist church than anything.
Yeah.
People are like,
asking questions.
You can't get too loud. But it's got like sort of like laughing and like hooting and hollering and like call and response and that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the more informal.
So we'll have people like we did in our actual real life theater show where I'm like, what's the worst thing that you've ever done? And some guy's like, shit myself on a roller coaster, and we're gonna be like, all right, we're gonna talk about that. Let's dig into this for a moment.
Yeah.
I've been there for that show.
Yeah, she'll definitely
awful.
She'll definitely take all that information she gets to the captain. So
yeah, so you get the impression that it is like religious in like theme, but Lillian rarely like calls upon the name of like the God King or the Winter King or whatever.
Yeah, or even the one I know best is I used to know the name, the Elven goddess.
Yeah.
I like know that one inside now. I know the teachings, but I never bring that up.
Yeah, so it is definitely like the soldiers are obviously concerned and scared and unsettled by being here on the border. And
I want to one of the profound moments that I'm thinking of is just digging into what does it mean to, why are we here, what is it that you're hoping to get out of this, and talking about how I'm sure that some of you go home every evening and you pray for an hour, 2 hours before you fall asleep at night. And I want you to know that there's nothing wrong with having your faith and believing in something greater than yourself. But if you are holding your Bible so long that the next day you don't have the energy to raise your shield to protect your brother next to you, you are not doing the work that you've been brought here to this earth to do. And that sort of thing as well.
That seems almost like scarily relevant to making Captain McKay happy.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just.
Yeah.
I mean, Celine will tell him whatever she sees or what she gets out
Oh,
of it.
yeah.
Like, I get this feeling from it, so.
Yeah, and I was mostly
Yeah.
joking. It's just funny
Oh yeah,
that.
no, I mean, I
Okay.
for sure am like, I'm trying not to metagame at all.
No, I
but,
know.
like, from the beginning, I'm like, yeah, I like have a faith and I like gain power from it, but like organized religion and me have a complex
Yeah.
relationship
Oh yeah.
for a number of reasons.
Yeah, a lot of backstory reasons. Okay. So then, yeah, you do your sermons.
And I spend
and-
all the rest of my time with my cats.
Yeah, and so you and Dorn, share custody of the cats. They spend a lot of time in the kitchens, and he is less gruff towards you than you anticipate.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to be like, if he needs like a gopher, is that what they call it? Yeah, just like a
Yes.
gopher for the, just like, it's like, hey, can you go grab this
Gopher
from the
the
stocks
thing.
for me?
Oh,
go grab
okay.
things. So like, cause I'm in and out of there all the time, I imagine. So if he just needs like someone to go grab stuff, I mean, I'm happy to get to know him because I like the dynamic of me starting as like being very polite and incredibly snarky, and now we actually have like a dynamic.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, and so he is not openly hostile to you as he was before. More just like, yeah, that like sarcastic, dry, cutting wit, almost like a banter kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'll walk in and be like, "Man, this place is still as much a shithole as ever. Thought you would make some improvements while I was gone."
Yeah, he just shoots a glare at you, and like the other cooks like blanch at they're like, oh, we need to get out of here.
Oh, I can't. Sorry, I can't bring home an entire wheel of artisan cheese every adventure. I wish I could.
His shoulders relax, and he's like, well, we were able to make good use of that, and the mushrooms I've prepared for you guys whenever you go out next. We have some special rations that include things that actually have flavor, and so
Nuts.
and he like struggles a little bit, and then he says, thank you for bringing that back.
And thank you for preparing it. I'm sure it'll be delicious.
And then he says, cats are in the pantry if you want them. And then he goes off to...
Ooh! She literally de-ages 70 years at the mention of her
Yeah.
cats. Ooh.
God.
Kitties!
Oh my god, kitty!
Just like me in real life.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Silly.
Um,
No, Hunter's being
Matt just,
haunted.
Matt just put Protestants in the chat.
I banished my son. So, we have 3 individuals still who haven't done anything particularly specific at the fort. Does any of you have thoughts on what you would like to do?
So I want to go see I want to go see my buddy.
Okay.
Your buddy, huh? Your
My buddy.
buddy.
And yeah, so Matcha, the courtyard sergeant who trained all of you, dueled Hart and awarded him a sword. She when she sees you approaching is visibly pleased and excited to see that you are home and alive.
So I go up to her and ask how she's doing.
And she says, "Oh, same old, same old. Things are a little different now that we are sending soldiers out, besides just you lot. So we've got supply lines to maintain and that sort of thing. I've been doing some extra drills with the guys and to make sure that everybody's prepared for what's out there. Any crazy stories from Voshek Tadberg?"
Besides orcs that think they're knights and orcs that can shapeshift and steal people's faces.
I mean, that's certainly crazy if you ask me.
That's actually why I came to speak with you. We're facing a lot of crazy things out there, and it seems to
True.
only get crazier as we go on. And I feel like I must protect the other members of my party with the combat experience that I have.
That's very noble. You were
So,
clearly, I remember when you all first got here. That little whelp. I can't remember her name. The one with all like the shit in her hair.
oh, Celine.
Yeah, I am amazed that she's still alive.
Fuck you, bitch. I'd kick your ass.
She's a dirty little witch, isn't she?
She like
That
looks
was a
at
weird thing to
she
say.
like looks at you, maybe kind of inquisitively. And she's like, well,
regardless.
that that one of the newer ones that just joined you, she brought you that letter from the woodsman. She's probably on par with you. I don't know if you guys have crossed blades in training or anything, but
I've seen her skill.
well, word around the fort
I've seen her
is
blow her own hand off when her gun failed.
yeah.
Good times.
Word around the fort is that she's a mantis.
Well, just between you and me, she had a gun explode in her hand. It was pretty funny to see.
Jesus Christ.
and she chuckles and she's like, there's a reason that I rarely trust gunpowder. Get me some leather and steel, and I can do way more than finicky chemicals can do.
He waggles her eyebrows at you and puts emphasis on the word leather.
Yeah. Give me some leather and steel. You know what I mean?
Speaking of leather, that's actually why I came to see you.
Oh.
Oh.
And she like blushes
Ooh,
very
daddy.
subtly. Oh my.
This is getting hot and
The,
steamy. I like this.
The leather armor that I was given, it's decent for an adventurer, but for one that's going to be taking the brunt of hits in a battle, being right up in the monsters' faces, I was hoping you might assist me or put in a good word so that I can get maybe something a little sturdier, metal plates underneath, perhaps like a brigandine armor.
Oh, interesting proposal. And she gets a wry grin and she says, I can see what I can do, but it's gonna cost you.
I'd be happy to hear what you had in mind.
It's been a bit of a dry spell, if you know what I mean. I sit here day in, day out at the fort. I only have the other footmen to keep me company. And,
Jesus Christ.
sometimes you long for just a little bit more, if you know what I mean.
Before I came to the fort, I'd spent 18 months in a jail cell. So I definitely understand
Oh, you can.
dry spells.
I bet you can relate. So, I'll see what I can do. But in order to earn this heart, my friend, you're going to have to defeat me in a duel again.
I kind of thought that's what you meant.
And I've longed to cross training blades with you since the last time I foolishly wagered the sword.
Jesus.
Maybe I was not as prepared as I could have been, but
It's getting spicy.
this armor, if you want it, you can have it. But
Come take it, big boy.
me
Sorry.
and you in the courtyard, sweat pouring down our bodies, clashing blades. I think we can make something work.
I wish I had a fan. Just
Oh my, I do believe I'm feeling the vapors.
oh. I wish Lillian was there. She would have
Scandalous.
Oh god. Holy shit.
I'd be happy to throw my body
Fiends.
against yours in a heated battle any day.
Well, you may just get your wish. And she begins writing out a requisitions request for let's look real quick. What it would be? Because
It would be brigandine armor. It's a cloth with metal plates underneath.
Yeah, so is that what you want specifically? You don't want
Yeah, yeah.
anything. You don't want the
I mean-
heavy armor.
No, I'm not looking for full plate like heavy armor.
Okay.
I still want the mobility, but something a little more than just leather.
A little more than just leather.
That sounds like the title of a romance novel.
A little more than leather.
A little
Yeah,
more
no.
than just leather. Yeah, sure.
It sounds like Eyes Wide Shut or something.
Yeah, so she will.
Cody, let's
She'll.
write that script.
she'll
Make
write
it
a,
like fucking
Right.
awful.
We'll prepare for Fringe next year. Some
Ooh.
like
Yes.
EDSM shit.
a little more than
will
just leather.
Totally come back to town for that.
That'd be sick. Yeah, so she'll write up the requisition request for some brigandine armor for one of the sash bearers. Nabeen, you are approached once again by the person that I'm sure we also named, but I can't remember the
what?
name of. I'm missing.
She takes good notes.
She does take good notes, but I have.
Stable Master is Emmy Stangel, if that's who we're talking about.
It's not Emmy.
I didn't know that.
Darn.
Yeah.
Emmy.
All the main people we go to for things, I wrote down their
Yeah,
names.
so the sergeants are sort of what I call those people. This was a dude who idolized the Mantises, the regiment that Nabeen was part of before she was
Okay.
arrested.
I don't think we did name him because
Maybe we didn't name him.
You're just like, oh my god, I love you.
Mantis fanboy.
Yes, Mantis
Yeah.
fanboy. Let's call him Rupert because I love
Okay.
that name.
Rupert!
That's a great
Yeah,
name.
Rupert the girl.
Yeah, that we use for
Rupert the girl is a
Blaze
great
in the
name.
Dark.
Rupert the girl is a badass.
Yep. Yeah, so he comes up to you and he's like, we've really felt your absence. We've been training, we've been trying to go to Matcha for, extra like drills and stuff, but I don't think she really I don't want this to sound disrespectful or anything, but some of us feel that maybe Matcha she's not as good as you. We could there's
Damn.
Just to clarify, she's also the quartermaster too, right? Like
she's
where I get-
not the
yeah.
quartermaster. Sella
so
is
she's
the
not who I get
quartermaster.
my weapons from.
Yeah, so Matcha is the sort of the courtyard sergeant
Okay.
in charge
Just
of
wanted
like
to-
training and drills and physical exercise and that sort of thing.
Conditioning.
Yeah, conditioning. And so yeah, they come up to you and they're like, Matcha, she's fine and all, but really we want to train with you. I've got a few of these other guys. I told them who you are and what you were part of previously, and they want to be part of it. We want to be prepared for what's out there. We don't want to be just a regular foot soldier.
And I'll kind of crack a grin and I'm like, well, of course you would, lad. Why wouldn't you? I'm the best there was. But first, before we can do any kind of training, I need to speak to the quartermaster. Because this equipment he gave me is absolute shite. I almost blew my damn hand off. Me,
Yeah.
the Mantis.
And they're like, oh, well, that's certainly something serious. I can't imagine. Obviously, it wasn't user error. It must have been, shoddy equipment. A mantis would
You need to
never, you know,
Never.
use their firearm
Must-
incorrectly.
must have been.
Never roll a literal 100 on an attack. Yeah, so you can visit Sella. Sella is the quartermaster, and she looks like a stereotypical like Valkyrie. She's a tall, broad-shouldered, blonde-haired human woman, muscular, and so she sees you approach, and she's like, even before you say anything, and she looks at you and says, "Is it true what they're saying?"
I'm gonna look. Are there any like stools or anything that I can grab and drag over?
Yeah, you could like to get eye level.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I don't say a word to her until I've done that. I like angrily.
She kind of like leans back.
Like, what the fuck is this shite that you gave me? And I just take my pistol and I like fling it against her chest. This is unacceptable. If you're not capable of taking care of this equipment, then somebody else needs to do it. You're gonna get everyone killed, whether it's us lowly sash bearers or your fucking soldiers. But you need to get it fucking right.
And she like, there's like a shocked, like blank expression on her face as you do this. And then she like cracks the biggest grin and she's like, "Holy shit, it is true.
What are you fucking tattling on about?
You are a
Fucking
mantis."
pistol. Of course I'm a fucking mantis, you fucking twat.
And she's like, what they say about the mantises is clearly true. And she's like, I know this
Choleric
is
temperament.
Yeah, she's like, I know that, this is how you're used to speaking to people. And like, I get it. You were a mantis. You guys all
get nothing.
You guys
wouldn't
all
have been qualified enough to lick my fucking boots.
scream at each other in obscenities and everything. And she kind of like weighs her options. She's like, you know what? My mantis friend.
Not your goddamn friend.
And she laughs again. She's like, oh, I know you have to say that.
The accent is immaculate. Props, Chris.
Thanks, buddy.
You can thank Unicorn for that.
Thanks, Unicorn.
That's neat.
She says, you know what? You're right. I didn't know when you first got here that you were an ex-mantis and that you knew what you were doing and had the expertise to make use of things. Let me see what I can do in getting you some better equipment. And all that I ask is that, you keep up this persona, because I think it's just the funniest thing in the world. I've never seen a mantis before, and man, they're not gonna believe me.
And I just look around. What the fuck is wrong with you?
And she literally laughs. She's like,
I'm gonna get off my stool and I'll like grab it by a leg and I just hurl that at her too and I storm back to the other dudes.
She
Get
catches
your
it.
fucking weapons. We're gonna fucking do some drills.
And you hear, as you're walking out, you hear her shout into the back to the blacksmith. And she's like, I told you! You heard that right! She's definitely has to be a mantis.
I overhear that. I just shout back over my shoulder, eat my ass, you fucking idiot!
And, yeah. So, she...
Meanwhile, I'm overhearing this while doing my congregation. And I'm like, and sometimes you have to let some steam out, but I think that community is a little bit more important than pride.
Yep.
Sex works too.
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah, sex
You're
is
not
going to
wrong.
be the subject of a later talk, I think.
Woo!
Yeah. So, Nesgrin, was there anything particularly that you were interested in trying to do? Or are you more so just trying to find a niche within the fort life?
I was thinking of doing some like under gambling den or something like that. You know,
Ooh,
like
okay.
in
I
some
like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
gambling with the people, under the noses of the sergeant and everyone.
Yeah. So you
And
actually,
Yeah.
I want to do like three things.
okay.
So I would like to see if I can, since I'm going to be a pugilist, so I want to have some like um hidden boxing match,
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So you're
then mix it with
organizing,
gambling.
yeah, like bets on
Yeah,
fights with
yeah,
between all the
and
soldiers.
yeah, and then with that trying to gather information and rumors.
Okay. What I was gonna say is that you weren't here, because it was like literally the first or second session, but there is an established illegal drug trade going on in Fort Bodeswell. The characters actually brought back two large quantities of what is essentially like marijuana, but like magical marijuana to Fort Bodeswell. That the pilot of the airship requested they return.
Man, that was like episode 2.
That was like episode 2. Rosette Dupree was in the process of smuggling some drugs into the fort when the airship crashed, and so they returned some of them to her. I believe it was one brick to Rosette and one partial brick to the captain. So if you're interested in that as an angle, you can pursue that. But I do love the idea of, boxing bets and that sort of
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I'll go that way.
Okay. Yeah, so you are, you're able to spread the word, and maybe you sort of seeded this idea before you came out on your first mission where everybody died. But you basically are able to gather some similar to Cody's congregation, basically individuals that are stir crazy or like nervous and don't have enough to do like on a day-to-day basis at the fort and are just like always terrified of what's going on, and they are going to indulge their vice of gambling and fighting. You discover pretty quickly, just by walking around and skulking about, that the basement of the keep, so there's the fort walls, and I should just detail this real quick because you also weren't here for this. But the fort is very standard in its construction. It's essentially rectangular walls, with towers, and then there's like a keep sort of centered like that. And this is in the lower right of the screen that we're on right now. And so this center space right here is the keep, where like all the offices and interior stuff is. You learn pretty quickly that the basement of the keep is basically not being used right now. It's been like where they're storing all of the like super old furniture that they moved out of the way, and just like random stuff is being stored in the basement. And you can essentially establish a fight club in the basement of the keep, sort of by word of mouth, passing around. Are you participating in the fight club, or are you running it?
Of course.
Okay.
Doing both.
Okay, so
Oh hell yeah.
and you get, again, kind of like Cody, like Lillian's congregation, a growing crowd every night as you do this. Roll me your simple melee just as a roll to see how you do in the fights. Wow.
Oh god.
Not perfect.
Not cool.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Oh man, that's rough.
So you live up to your name of Brittle Fist, and
I'm just a child. I'm a child.
I'm just a child. So the fights don't go particularly well for you. The soldiers appreciate that you took the time to like organize this, and I do want to like paint the picture that this is not in any way like fancy in its setup. You're literally like in a basement storage room with like crates and moldy chairs and everything pushed to the sides, and you guys are just, it's literally like the movie Fight Club, just people standing in a circle with two people beating the hell out of each other in the middle.
Beat each other off. What?
But roll me
It's a different kind of party.
yeah, it's a different Fight Club. What is the skill for gambling? Isn't there like a specific
Was that?
Gamble. No, he's right. I think it's just gamble.
is it literally called gamble?
There's
No.
not a gamble.
Yes.
It's guile. It would be guile, yeah.
I mean,
There
it
is
could be
literally a
skullduggery.
gamble. There is a gamble skill.
There is
Literally
a
called
gamble.
gamble.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, sure shit. It's just none of us ever use it.
Dude, cash money.
We're
So
all-
so Nesgrin, roll me gamble to see how you do.
Oh, no.
Also bad. And you could flip a token if you wanted to, but this is basically you trying to convince everybody that not quite. Oh, Topher's eavesdropping.
He wants to know about Fight Club.
I'll flip one
Okay,
token.
sure.
I was trying to see if I would overhear anybody talking about Fight Club
Oh,
because I
there you
want
go.
in.
Nice.
There you
I'm
Um,
thinking that too, but I'm like, where am I? I don't know if I know about the
So
things that are happening.
the way it goes is that you don't do well in the fights. You pretty handedly get your shit kicked. But you learn a lot, and you are able to basically convince the assembled soldiers that you deserve a cut or like a commission of the money that's changing hands based on who's winning and who's losing. And so you gain, let's just roll it for the sake of playing an RPG. We're going to do 2d10 plus 2 silver pieces is the culmination. So you gain 10 silver in total winnings and commission for running this basement fight club at Fort Bodeswell. Yeah, so are you, those of you who are trying to eavesdrop, it was just...
I'll do some rumors to see if I could hear anything.
Oh, yeah. So while you're down here, you can do rumor.
Also, what I'm doing is trying to find my brother that he joined the Sash looking for like renown and everything, but
Okay.
he sucks at fighting, so he's very, very crappy fighter.
Okay.
So he has our family heirlooms, and I'm trying to stick him because I'm most sure he's dead.
Okay.
I'm trying to look for his body to recover our family heirlooms.
Okay. Sure.
Try to find out where the idiot is.
Yeah.
I love that. Gotta find my idiot brother who has all the shit worth something.
Oh man.
Oh, I thought it was a 40. Yeah, unfortunate.
Sorry
Yeah,
about
so
it.
you...
Not your
Oh, wait, I have something for rumors. What do I have for rumors?
Oh, talent?
No.
Is
I
it
have when
worldly?
gossiping or spinning when gossiping or spinning a tail, gain plus 20.
I would say this counts as gossiping. So
Oh yeah.
so you hear
I think that's the wrong name for that skill, but just so you know for the later.
that is, yeah, it should be worldly. Incredible numeration is the counting one.
I think they pick it up from the. Maybe it's wrong in the
Yeah,
could
it's
be.
probably
Roll
wrong
20.
in the
all 20.
the compendium.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's
you
wrong in the compendium.
you hear about a variety of other sash bearer groups from other forts, and you hear that there was a. Let me check something real quick. Dun, dun, dun.
Let me see something, but because I don't know if it's wrong in the talents for the profession.
Oh
or
yeah,
the
or in the
wait,
compendium.
wait. Yeah, or in the companion. So it's swirly, and then da, 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 da.
I could see it being either or both.
I'm a rocketeer. So what do I have? And I have incredible narration. So
I'll be
no,
right back,
it's
guys.
wrong in
Okay.
wrong in the companion. So I don't have that one.
Okay, but you do have worldly, which is the one that you were.
No, I have incredible narration. I don't have worldly.
Oh, okay. So you are good at counting.
It's- Yeah, the
Yeah.
description
Wait, so
in
that
the roll
gamble
20 is
check
wrong.
earlier, he would have passed.
Okay.
When you were real close on that gamble check, he would have made that.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't close.
Wasn't he?
Was,
I thought he was, like-
93 to 46.
Oh, that was the rumor
Oh,
one.
for
Yeah.
oh yeah, the rumor one. He
Yep.
was really close.
Shoot, I'm all sorts of problematic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Friggin' stop.
This one.
Luigi.
So,
Luigi number
so the
one.
information
Done.
that you gather on the failed rumor is that there were plenty of other Sashbearer groups from other forts along the border, and some of them did contain male dwarves as members. And so you basically are able to gather from the gossiping of the soldiers between fights and stuff like that, that yes, your brother definitely went out as part of a member of one of these groups, but you have no idea like from what fort he came from or what mission he went on or anything like that. More so that male dwarves are part of other Sashbearer cohorts. You just don't know, any other detail other than that.
Keep looking.
Did anybody else want to try and learn about the Fight Club and attend?
Yes.
Okay. So
First rule of Fight Club.
yeah, so
don't
the
speak
first
about
rule
the
of
Fight
Fight Club is that nobody's supposed to talk about it.
All
So
right,
you're
so if I hear it secondhand through my congregation, then you all know you failed.
yeah, your any eavesdrop is
Sure,
going to
why
take a
not?
-10
Okay.
because the members are trying to adhere to the first rule of Fort Bodeswell Basement Fight Club.
Okay.
I do not make it,
No.
which is a damn shame. I would have told the captain. At
I
some
think I'm
point.
gonna go. I think I'm gonna go with plausible deniability on this one.
And not try to learn.
I'm not gonna try to learn.
Okay. So yeah, all kinds of things are going on at Fort Bodeswell. Sort of like there's enough soldiers here as part of the regiment that all of these like odd, illicit or sort of frowned upon activities can kind of happen without a lot of cross-pollination or, it's not like someone who is going to Lillian's church service is also going to the Fight Club, is also buying, witchweed from Rosette. It's sort of, there's a bunch of normal people and then there's the ones who are seeking these things out. So yeah, Nabeen, did you want to do anything in particular with your fan club? Were you wanting to train them or work with them?
Yeah.
Or are you trying? Okay, so just give me a martial, either melee or ranged, honestly, depending on what you're trying to teach them.
Oh, real fast. You said that my group had grown. How many folks am I talking to in the evenings?
Almost like too many. Almost 50-ish. That's a crit fail.
Again.
Dang.
Ah, come on.
She's gonna go yell at that damn
Yeah, I
quartermaster
was just ready to
again,
say.
and I'm really not about it.
Good thing that wasn't like actual shooting.
Yeah. So you try to train the others and show them the ways of gunpowder and smoke, and it doesn't go swimmingly. They obviously don't like call you out or judge you or anything, but you kind of start maybe a little too simple for them, and they master it pretty quickly and are left wanting. So the number for the congregation, I would say it's like 50-ish now.
That's
It's
sort
like,
of what I was thinking.
yeah, it's like a sizable crowd of individuals sitting in this like semicircle around you. And you're having this sort of like shared conversation and listening and everything. And yeah, sick. Awesome. So this is the perfect time, since it's 10:52, to take our mid-show break.
Oh boy.
Get some drinks, use the bathroom,
Spoke some crack. What?
smoke some crack.
You
Because
can do that on camera. so
as
that's
long as
fine.
you are
Yeah,
off
exactly.
stream, you may smoke crack.
Yeah, that is the law.
It is part of our contract. I don't know about the law. The law sort
Oh.
of says that you can't do it at all, as
Oh,
far
what
as
do
I
they
First
know?
know.
rule about the
do
contract:
they
don't talk
know?
about the contract.
Don't talk
Come on.
about the contract.
I hate being legally bound.
Where did
I
this
like
go?
being bound.
Ooh.
Wait.
Not legally though.
Dang
Now,
you.
now this is how we get. Now this is how we get followers.
I like
right.
being bound.
Say all this shit about
Leather and sweating bodies.
Ah,
Okay. So I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna grab our be right back image, and then I'm going
Oh,
to use the bathroom, check on my banished child.
Right.
Um,
the
Okay.
kink stream will be
beating her
live
face.
again soon.
Topher, do you have a Will Turner ponytail right now, or is
Jesus,
your hair just
Matt.
doing a thing?
Okay.
Wunderbar.
So we
Love
have our image up. Our voice is still carrying through. So don't
I'm a big fan of
Harry
the
testicles.
don't
top knot.
out
Chris.
yourself as
Hell
a
yeah.
QAnon
I would like
person
to
or
eventually be
whatever.
able to do that.
I
But
thought everybody
the
knew I
lady
was
that
blonde.
cut my hair decided to give me like a shark fin thing instead.
This is
Which is also fun, but
this
I
is
can't
literally
do
not
it.
having my haircut since April at the start of COVID. So this
Yeah.
is like 18 months worth of growth almost.
Yikes. My sides of my head were completely bald like a week and a half ago.
Oh yeah, no, I shave the sides too. I do like the whole undercut thing.
Yeah.
But it grows back on the sides so fast.
Yeah, the sides, like, once it gets to about this length for me, it usually kind of slows down, but it still grows pretty quick. Like, I
Yeah.
shaved my head several times throughout last year, and
I might go
it
back
came
to
back.
doing faux hawks again since I have the short
Yeah.
hair.
yeah, buddy. You should give yourself like a Biff Tannen haircut. I think that would be fun.
A biff?
But like, yeah, but like the 50s era Biff, not like, 2015 Biff. Don't
I don't
do
think
the Trump thing.
I don't think there's a world in which we have entirely opposite hairlines.
Listen, mister, anyone can pull off the Biff slash Pugsley Adams hairstyle, and everybody should at least
Isn't that
once.
just like a greasy high and tight?
I mean, it's basically a high and tight with a little, like, a tiny bit of fringe, like an inch, inch and a half, but you spike that straight up. So good.
Spike that shit straight up, bruh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's me going to the Christmas party.
Or you could do, like, that thing that was really big when I was, like, a senior in high school where you would, like, section off bits of your hair and spike it and twist it.
Yeah, we would do
Like,
the thing where you section off pieces of your hair and you dip it in Kool-Aid.
Yeah, oh no, that was totally a thing too. That has always been a thing. My mom got so mad at me. Look, there's Stormageddon that way. I know which way to
And
point.
rude. We do not have inane conversation. This is perfectly nane.
Perfectly named.
I'm going to be right back.
I'm going to be right here. I got cat hair in my eyes and I'm allergic to it.
Way to go now, let's make fun of Hunter while he's gone now. You're gonna make fun of his shitty mohawk, gonna make fun of it. Yeah.
Hunter has a shitty fucking mohawk. He's got a fucking shitty mohawk.
Yeah, he do. One day he will listen to the VOD and hear my song. It's pretty shitty, just like his motherfucking mohawk.
Talking about the mohawk.
Mohawk!
Mohawk. God, the
Mohawk!
thing is fucking ugly.
Yeah.
Fucking cut that shit off right off your fucking head. We don't want to see that shit.
Oh, God.
I like this song.
Yeah,
Me
this
too.
is what I listen to when I'm alone.
I just like my like a Friday ritual of once we do the break, I just come back and make fun of Hunter. He hasn't said anything about any of them yet, sadly. I wonder if he actually watches. So
Yeah, I mean, well, I
You think
wouldn't
he
blame
goes
him.
back and watches our asses after the fact? No.
I think
No.
the
talked
best
about it,
streams
but-
probably do. The best streams almost certainly
Yeah,
take the effort to review their own performance.
they do it for a living, so I get it.
I do it for the dying.
I do
Somebody
it for the
kill
cocaine.
me!
Somebody put me down like a lame horse. Oh yeah, poor horsey horse hurt its leg. Then the
Yeah.
horse punches the guy and steals the gun. Now who's the bitch getting put down?
What are you going on about?
I don't know. It's kind of Family Guy moment in my head.
I could
Guy's
be a
been ready to
consultant.
put down the horse, and horse like punches him and takes the gun and like hit like hurts his ankle. He's like, huh? Who needs to be put down now, huh, bitch? Random references with Nate.
Random References is the name of my band.
It
What's the
could
name
be
of
a
your
good
band?
name.
Random References.
I
My
like
punk
it.
band is Precious Lesbians.
That's even better.
Yeah, that's my favorite band name. One day I will be a lesbian.
I don't think you will, friend. I mean, maybe, but just don't be too disappointed, okay?
My girlfriend is laughing in the back. I don't think she's laughing at me, but it does feel like it.
I am already a lesbian trapped in a man's body.
Fair. I have a lot of
You
male
do you,
friends who say
Topher.
the same.
You do you, buddy.
Look, there's Kevin.
They can't see it.
Kevin, I'm telling you,
Don't laugh.
dumbass.
Don't
Okay.
laugh at me. It's not very nice.
Just making sure you're aware.
I
You know,
know.
last time Cody was like, "Look at my kitty." We're not streaming us the picture. What?
See, the problem is Kevin likes to sit on the top shelf.
Well, he's a
He's
top
not
shelf cat.
She. Kevin is a
She.
girl's name.
Kevin Princess.
Kevin is
That's
a girl's
right.
name.
That's
It's like Rupert is a girl's name.
her
Rupert,
ID tag that
the
she
girl?
doesn't always wear, but like her actual ID tag says Kevin. It's a girl's name. Fun
Jesus.
fact for you. We didn't know she was a girl when we named her, so it's not an up reference.
Squawk.
Did he not? Did she not? I mean, did you not look for the big old hangers they usually have?
Not
She
if they're.
was literally born on my bed, so
Oh,
those were not there
okay.
yet. So
That makes sense.
Right.
yeah.
Um.
Tina and I had a very bonding, traumatic moment when she first
Okay.
started crowning with Kevin, who was the firstborn.
How haunting.
Indeed.
What are we talking about?
My
Cat birth.
giving
Kitties.
birth on my bed.
Gross.
Yeah.
So we
Not
are
worth it though.
we are
That happened to
camera
my niece.
we are camera live again.
She was sleeping on the couch and woke up with baby kittens in the couch with her.
Aww. Yeah, my ex-girlfriend and I woke up one morning and like obviously we knew Stormageddon was pregnant, but like didn't have any idea when she would give birth. And
Yeah.
she hopped up on the bed and was being all loving, and then she just yowled. And like we
It's
looked at
baby
her
time.
and we looked at each other, and then we were like, oh shit, it's time, get some towels. It was just like in those stupid sitcoms where they say the same thing, but legit, you want towels. Never been more happy to have spent as much money as I did on our mattress protector,
Oh yeah.
because
Ooh, yeah,
Absolutely.
not a spot on the mattress.
nice.
To answer Matt's question, it wasn't really a question. He said we need a Fiends Discord. So what I plan to do with the commands on the Zweihander channel here is that I'm going to have Daniel change our command to be a link tree. So it's gonna have it'll still be Fiends, but it'll link to our. It's basically like a jumping off page that will have all of the links to all of the various
Patreon,
things.
Discord, Twitch.
Yeah.
You're a
So-
jumping off page.
So instead of being just the Patreon when you do the Fiends command here on the Zweihander channel, it will take you to all of the links that you can choose to join the Discord, go to the Twitter, look at the Patreon, all that cool shit. So that is on my to-do list for this week before we are live again next Friday.
I'll Google your Twitter.
You are turning me on. Please stop.
You know, if you're a top tier Patreon supporter, you can get exclusive racy photos of Nate with my cats.
It's true.
We haven't taken them yet, but that is the top tier.
They are
option.
on offer.
Yeah.
Sweet. So we're all back.
And if you don't want that, you can subscribe to the highest tier, and then we won't do it.
Yeah.
Oh
true.
man.
Why? What have
If
I
you
done?
don't want that, you can pay us more money to not.
And we'll stop.
That's the
Otherwise, we will.
tier.
Otherwise, we will.
It's the blackmail tier.
You think I'm nutty? Come on, sugar lamb. No.
Okay. So your downtime progresses as we described. Nabeen recovers
Hate it.
from her shell shock, so she is now capable of rolling damage dice again.
So I'm not concussed.
You are no longer concussed. Everybody should be unhindered. Everybody should be unharmed.
I
And
have a random question actually when
Go
you have
ahead.
a second. I have a fuck ton of chaos ranks and I honestly don't remember
Oh.
why or how.
because you were injured, so roll
Okay.
a dice, a d10 real
Okay.
quick.
Okay.
I think she's been
Is-
doing it wrong.
Is that dice higher
It is the
than?
same.
It's the same.
So
Okay.
that she would get a chaos rank.
Is that how it works, Nacho? Is it you have
Yep.
to roll above?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So clear the chaos ranks that you have. Actually, let me just look
Okay.
at your sheet.
I had 6 chaos ranks.
Because what that it should have been was 6 corruption, which
Where's
goes
corruption?
in the circle.
The circle.
Where is your character sheet?
Nabeen, not Bandor.
It's in your butt, Hunter.
That's
Might
what I
be
was
there.
gonna say.
Oh, there it is.
It's a good
I found
storage
it.
space.
I found it in my butt.
Funny, but I'm tired.
Um,
Take me to the place.
So you see the circle in the middle with corruption below it?
Oh, yep.
So that's where you should be recording corruption.
So it's
At-
12 now?
Yeah, so at the...
Okay.
No, it's 0 now,
Oh.
because we resolved it. So
I
the
see.
way
It can only
corruption
ever
works...
go up to 9.
Yeah.
Ew.
The way it works is that you fill up your corruption as you either take injuries, or you see horrifying things, or you do evil shit, and then usually at the end of every mission, we resolve corruption by rolling a d10. If you roll higher than your total corruption, you would gain an order rank, which is basically a good boy point.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you roll lower than your total corruption, you gain a chaos rank, which is a bad boy point.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
and so when you
Yeah, I meant to ask that last time and I
for
totally
sure,
forgot.
and it's super simple, but basically narratively, it represents your character exemplifying wit, because wit is your order alignment, or exemplifying scorn, which is your chaos alignment.
Chaos.
And if you fill 10 of these bubbles on either side, then things happen. So if you get
Gotcha.
10 order ranks, then you gain an extra life point, like a fate point. If you fill 10 chaos ranks, then you can gain a few interesting things like mental disorders and
I
mutations.
love those.
You can get cancer.
Or you could grow a tentacle
that.
or
I
something.
love tentacles.
Yeah.
Tentacle cancer.
Yeah, tentacle
yeah,
cancer.
tentacle porn.
Wait, no.
Yay!
That is tentacle cancer. What are you talking about?
Yuck, someone else is yum.
I'm not.
You said that last night too.
I know.
So as you all go about your fairly regular daily lives, doing various, clandestine or not clandestine
God.
activities, you are summoned to Agent Farlaria Bruce's office along the wall next to Phineas's grotto. And she requests the details of your mission, and for the sake of expedience, we will just say that you all tell her what happened.
I shot an orc with magic missile.
If there are specific things that you would like to exemplify, we can do that in detail. But for, just telling her the events that occurred, you communicate that pretty clearly.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely want to make sure we tell them that more doctor, more shadows.
I just played the part about how I shot the orcs with the magic missile to gain his respect.
Yeah, and
And
I'm
she-
just like, my ears rang for days because of this fucking shit. Can you pull some strings and get me a fucking decent pistol?
What she's saying is
Oh.
she's bad with her gun.
It's fine. We
I
got
will
the
fucking eat
we
you
got-
in your sleep
we
and
got
you
the
won't
gun
enjoy it
in
last.
your
I'd
ears.
like to see you try pipsqueak.
You are nearly the same height.
Yeah.
I believe she is like frail or whatever, so
I
she
am.
is much skinnier and shorter than me.
Sized.
Well, no, but she's like, she's small. I'm trying to remember. The gnomes
I
are
am-
like the really small ones, and halflings are like kind of small.
I think it's the other way
I'm
around.
frail and 4 feet tall and 52 whole pounds.
Let me see here. I can
And-
find it.
And Celine is like 80 and 4'4".
I'd have to find it. On my character
I might have
sheet,
it backwards.
Let's see. Well, where is it?
Because I thought.
I am 4. Oh, you might be right. I am 4'1" and 66 pounds. so
Okay,
maybe
yeah, you
gnomes
are essentially exactly the same size.
Because they think that
He's
they're
still
the
Player.
because they're somewhere between dwarves and elves.
No, this is
Because
what they
that's where
consider
the
them.
shitty racism
That's where-
thing.
Yeah.
You say that, no one's for sure, but that's how they make fun of him.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
I just sidle up to you and I'm like, I fucking hate you. I want you to know that.
That's fine.
Guys,
time
I'm gonna teach you a song. Have you guys heard of Kumbaya? We're gonna sing
Kumbaya.
Kumbaya.
No, we're not, because next time I'm just gonna let the orcs kill her, and it's on her.
Don't worry, Niv. I won't let the orcs kill you.
I will.
And she between the banter and the crosstalk gets the story of Welker the Orcs Knight and what occurred at the Savang estate.
Okay, yeah, halflings get to be much smaller than gnomes. Sorry.
That's what I
Just to say.
thought. Yeah, so
Not much, but like 4 foot for my shortest, 3.5 for halfling female shortest,
Little girl.
yeah,
and 32 pounds.
that's
Jesus.
insane.
52.
That's ridiculous.
Are you sure? I think
I'm
you look.
52.
You a gnome then?
No, I'm a halfling.
You look. If you're the smallest size, you looked at the wrong chart. Halfling
might
females
have.
only get to 3.5 feet and are frail at 32 pounds.
Blessing.
That's insane.
Let me double check.
You are truly
That
a
is
baby.
that is impossibly small.
Some of these
If that's
guns,
the case, I will change it.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I very well might have.
some of these guns are actually bigger than you.
I was to say, like, a musket is like 10 pounds, which is a
Well, she can't use it.
yeah. So she literally she can't use a musket because it's
Third of her weight.
1/3 of her entire body mass.
It's way longer than her too.
Yeah.
Like,
Could you imagine? Oh my god.
We'll see.
That's wild.
Um,
That is wild.
So while you are like morphing physically in the real world,
a la Skyrim creation.
yeah, Skyrim character creation. Agent Bruce lays out some maps in front of you
Ooh.
as she
On the map,
appraises
on the map.
your story of your exploits. And she is super appreciative of what you've done and very curious about your decision-making process for letting Welker go and just fascinated at all of the events that occurred. And definitely believes you, understands that, things are different than sort of how they appear on the surface. And so she directs your attention to this right side map, which has the Lost Provinces label. And so this is a more detailed map of, you can see from the two larger ones, this kind of vaguely horse-shaped, like a galloping horse kind of, area is this area that everybody's been talking about, the Lost Provinces. Let's snag some new music. What's good map music?
Anything from Lord of the Rings.
I'm overlapping them. There we go.
Drumming. Drumming in the deep.
And she begins to outline for you guys in sort of like you told me your side, here's my side, of how all of the forts are basically doing in terms of like reclaiming the Lost Provinces. And so you guys have claimed this like large area here north of Fort Bodeswell. You sort of
We're doing it, boys.
yeah, you've cleared this area and allowed regular soldiers to enter. The other forts have been doing work as well. Fort Gratitude here to the north has made some progress in their area like this, slowly overtaking and clearing monsters and primarily orcs is what she is telling you.
They were really
Fort-
far away from home.
Fort Favor is where your rival is.
Fort Favor is where your
Oh, is
rival
it?
is. Yep. So just to
Oh,
the
just
to the west.
Okay.
Yep.
Man, fuck that bitch.
Fort
Why are
Blessed,
women so mean to women?
Fort
Come on.
Blessed, and Fort
'Cause
Fortitude
she's in the way.
have together basically like met where you guys have claimed, and really cleared this like little pocket here of area and these little villages and stuff. Because again, all of this like this Lost Province area is predominantly rural farming, livestock, and just like very non-industrial area that was taken by Voshek Tadberg in the last war 100 years ago. And so Fort Favor, again, they've claimed like a small bubble. Fort Advantage has been working their way towards this large city. Fort Prosperity doesn't matter because it doesn't border the Lost Provinces right now.
They're busy pissing themselves.
Oh, actually, I'm dumb.
Yeah, you are.
Well, we know.
Fort Success doesn't exist, and so they haven't done anything.
They got destroyed.
So they were destroyed in the war and never rebuilt.
That's what they want us to think.
Yeah, so Fort Success, nothing is going on there right now.
Yeah.
But
That's where we're headed.
this progress
Damn, Fort Favor?
is pretty steady. There's also Fort Advantage. This fort right here is helping. I covered the name, but they didn't do it all by themselves. The progress and you get the sense that this is like way more information than anybody else would ever tell you.
I love it.
Because it's like sort of like not top secret, but like confidential, and it has to do with like the movings of all the troops and everything, and it's pretty sensitive stuff. And so she draws this all out for you in short order. It's not like every individual mission she describes. But it is too slow, she says. The threats from deeper in Voshek Tadberg are becoming more dangerous. The reports of like great monsters and large hordes of mutants and even like beastmen and other fantastic things are coming in. And so surprisingly, some of the electors, which are the governing individuals of Lumerlin, are a bit concerned about the idea of like trying to recapture the Lost Provinces in a sort of like opportunistic way, and maybe are thinking more large scale, like, oh well, why don't we actually deal with the problem instead of like picking up scraps. But unfortunately they are in the minority still. Most of the electors are of the opinion that capturing the Lost Provinces is objective number one, sort of retaking this like embarrassing kind of historical defeat that Lumerlin suffered. And so Farlaria basically lays out this plan to you. She says that, it's all orcs here. Everything that everybody's coming up against is orcs of like various mutations and all kinds of crazy, like non-standard, like the things that you've been seeing. Mutant monster orcs that are magically adept, just all kinds of weird orc problems. And she thinks that you guys have kind of cracked the case that the reason that all of these orcs are here
We're gonna get sent all the way north.
is because
Hell yeah.
of Dr. Yinzo Shichiba that she introduced to you guys previously. The Voshek Tadberg magician, plague doctor, researcher who had been previously studying the orcs like disease and how orcs arise and how they behave, whose research was obviously interrupted when the star fell. But his lab was, as Lillian said,
Oh.
clear to the north up here.
Oh, it's only 22 feet. We can
Yeah, it's 22 feet away.
Inside the fort.
The
orcs are coming from inside the fort.
Oh, that's not the button I wanted. In this large port city known as Pertz. Why did that not change the color?
You
Gotta
did
highlight it.
wrong.
You gotta highlight it.
I did highlight it. Why is it unhighlighting? There we go. I swear to God. There we go.
You just got fucked.
And I spelled it wrong. Pertz. Well. Which is compared to... Why are you doing this to me? Oh, it's trying to lock to the spaces. Compared to the other, like, towns and hamlets and estates and everything that you've been to in this rural area, much larger city. This little bay was like the primary shipping zone. If you look at these larger maps to the left, this sea here, goods would come in and deposit at Pertzwell and then be shipped by land deeper into the inland, because this is all like kind of treacherous, swampy coastline, which is not good for bringing in goods. And so
Not convinced.
naturally, Pertzwell became the dropping off point for basically all of Voshek Tadberg's maritime trade. And she tells you that Dr. Yinzo's lab was nestled in the basement of a castle sitting atop the crest of a hill in Pertzwell. And the castle had some strange magical like tine coming out of it, stabbing into the air, that was somehow facilitated what he was doing in Pertzwell as a government mage of Voshek Tadberg, studying the effects of orcs transformation and orcs disease and how orcs behave. And so, you know, putting together these pieces, she posits to you five that if, say, a team of highly skilled and brave individuals were to insert themselves into Dr. Yinzo's lab, recover any information that he might have about what he was doing before the fall of the star, could lead to the wholesale, or at least a quickening of the process of the capture of the lost provinces, which would satisfy both political factions in terms of the ones that want to focus on larger scale issues, the lost provinces would be out of the way. The ones who simply want to recapture the lost provinces to save face from 100 years ago would also be pleased. And she says, obviously, this is not something that the electors or any individual military leader will greenlight off the bat. But the longer we wait and the more time we waste is more chance for some kind of large organized orcs horde to emerge, or things to get worse, or the process to bog down somewhere. And so she phrases it as a request, but it sounds very much like a plan that she has already formulated. She says that you 5 sash bearers could take the serendipitously ready airship of Fort Bodeswell.
Ooh.
And simply, instead of jumping from settlement to settlement, city to city, trying to kill every last monster that you come across to make the land safe again, what if we skip the middleman, jump the distance to Pertswell, infiltrated the lab, find any information or discovery that Dr. Yinzo might have made, and maybe we can wield it against these strange and uncanny orcs that are plaguing the Lost Provinces.
That sounds less suicidal. I like that idea.
Sounds less suicidal.
Yeah, we don't have to fight all the way over there and then trying to deal with whatever's inside. All worn out and low on resources and food and
I
stuff.
think it definitely sounds less time consuming, but as to less suicidal, that's maybe giving it more credit than I would.
Never thought
Look,
I'd say it, but I do have to agree with Celine.
Yeah, fuck.
Blood demons.
Fortune
Exactly what I was
favors the
thinking.
bold.
Everybody's getting demons in the blood. It's contagious. I warned you, Lillian. It's spreading.
Yeah, well, if anyone's spreading a blood disease, I have an idea of which of us on the group would it be. Wash your hair.
Fuck you.
So, I think this is a bold stroke. Probably what I would do given the information, and I'm assuming with your rank and station, you could make this happen. Basically, no questions asked.
And she nods her head and she says, I'm concerned that, not that I question the decision-making ability of Captain Macias, but I fear that he may appropriate the airship for more mundane tasks if given the chance, which would limit our ability to execute some decisive action. I am able to supersede him in some cases, and if we were to take action on this and present it as a formulated plan, we would have a better chance of getting it done.
He's a soldier that's been trained to fight wars, fight people, battles, for honor, for glory. This is a battle of survival.
And she nods. She said, I would hate to see such a wonderful asset squandered on, shuttling biscuits between forts or, something like that.
Could we bring a few other Sash members as reinforcements?
Absolutely. Obviously, that redhead, I forget her name, she will have to fly the thing. I have no clue how to operate one of those mechanical beasts.
That was Rosie, right?
Yeah, Rosette.
Yeah.
Does she go by Rosie, or is that me?
I don't know if you ever called her that. You can certainly try.
I'm gonna start calling her that.
Thank you, Matt Mercer.
Oh, did we get rated by Matt Mercer?
No, you just said you can certainly try.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't even know. Yeah, I actually am. I moonlight as
You
Matt
are
Mercer.
Matt Mercer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catch me every
Man,
Thursday.
Why do you
Got
pick
the hair
such an
for it.
ugly outfit compared to what you normally look like?
Or wait, is it? Aren't they on Wednesdays?
I've never. No, Thursdays.
Is Critical Role Thursdays?
I mean, it always was. I haven't watched in a while.
I
to
have
be
literally
honest.
never watched
They
Critical
don't need us advertising.
Role.
Well, I
It's true.
I watch highlight
But
reels.
Yeah.
I watch
if
highlight
we
reels.
become friends with them, they
Well,
could
yeah.
advertise us, you dummy.
This is
You're
this
right.
is
Yeah,
a
you dumb.
this is a future retroactive
This is a-
shout out to Matt
Open
Mercer.
Invitation. If
Yeah.
Matt Mercer ever wants to be a friend of the show,
Oh god.
let us know. Open seat at the table for
Yeah.
you, buddy.
We'll be
Oh,
hanging
that's
out
neat.
at Gen Con in 2 years, and I'm gonna pull
Hashtag
up this
goals.
clip from this show right now and be like, "See, I knew this was gonna happen," and then he's gonna be really weirded out, and he's gonna walk
Who are
away.
you? How did you get in my hotel
Yeah,
room?
exactly.
I love you.
You never know.
Yeah.
I mean,
It can happen.
I think
I met Patrick Rothfuss in an elevator once.
That's fun.
It was the same time that I got the Critical Role cast's signatures in my D&D books.
that's rad. I
That
met
is cool.
David
Story
Henry
for you.
Wong, one of the America's biggest Asian American authors.
I'm not.
Anyway.
John dies at the end.
I have seen that.
No, I'm asking you if he was the writer, but
No,
anyway.
David.
Oh,
that's
no,
a different
no,
David
no.
Wong, because that's
Okay.
actually.
David Henry, DHH, or
GHW.
I think it's DHH because I think it's Huang.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But anyway, he wrote a playwright.
We'll
and
talk
Butterfly.
about it later.
Primo. Anyway, I
I'm
think
into
there's a very skilled group of adventurers that we encountered that I believe came from Fort Favor that
Yeah.
we could recruit as reinforcements for this daring assault.
I'm gonna have to find the paper with their names on it if we're gonna do this, but I do like that idea. She says.
Nab leans forward and she's like, but, do we have to take the racist twat?
She's
Trish.
still here? Oh my god, what are you doing?
She's just like lurking in a corner.
Smoke in the corner.
Yeah. She like
I
hisses at
magically,
you.
like, pull a flag and a veil out and throw it at her.
Yeah.
Pull out a bucket.
So for the sake of future continuity, she will probably come along, but doesn't necessarily have to, I suppose. Or you don't have to spend any time with her. She can just.
And I just turn around and stare straight at Trish, and I'm like, I don't like you.
You can store her in a barrel in the hold
And
of the
Trish
airship.
looks at you with hollow eyes
Yeah.
and a 1,000-yard stare.
And goes,
I'm not a person.
You hear static emanating from her open
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah.
Jesus.
For anybody who might be confused, Trish is the character of one of our players who hasn't been part of the show for like almost a month and a half now.
because he hates us.
And so she's been following the group around as a inanimate, husk of a player character. And with the possibility of Jordan rejoining us at some point in the future, we will have to stuff Trish in a barrel, put her in the bottom of the airship, from which she can emerge if needed.
Yeah.
Is this the equivalent of like women in a refrigerator? Because
Yeah,
not
it's
cool, Hunter.
Oh, like
Honestly-
fridging your gaze or whatever.
She's gonna. Jordan's
Wake
gonna come
up.
back just in time to pull some like it's gonna be like a Ripley from Aliens maneuver.
Yeah,
where, like, let us in, and he's like, "You're contaminated."
Yeah. Flies the ship away to trap all of you.
One moment, please.
Okay.
Your call is important to us. Please hold.
Wake the fuck up, you dumbass.
He's rocking out.
He's not. He's sleeping.
I'm not.
You were.
No, I was close. But
I almost was sleeping, but that doesn't mean I am sleeping.
look, I'm tired. I'm running on like 5 hours of sleep and feeling like ass
It's
today.
what you deserve for being a white male.
You're right. I deserve it.
Come
Yeah,
at
so
me when you've like
I'm cool with this
been
plan.
on fucking sonar watch for 72 hours straight. Then we'll talk.
Well, you should make
Princess.
better life choices instead of
That's
like
true.
going on a boat at sea for
Listen,
Yeah.
months
It's
on
not
end.
like- it's
that
not
was
like
the
you
best
were
choice I ever
part of
made.
a
I just went
prison
to a shitty
colony.
command.
That sounds awful.
It was amazing. Anyway,
I
sorry,
enjoyed
Hunter.
it.
Continue.
Yeah, let's go recruit.
Yeah.
back
So
up and do it.
she will
Oh,
basically say that she can send a letter to the captain of Fort Favor and request, requisition the 4 sash bearers that you're interested in. And
Glean.
yeah,
Isn't that where Din's Lady Love was stationed as well?
that's where Lillian's cuddle partner was.
Yeah, and the she's the
Captain
same one that.
McKay, the other Captain McKay.
It is the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
Captain
She's in
McKay.
charge of it.
Oh,
Yeah, what about it?
Yeah, and we get to hang out with the person that stabbed our friend
She a
here.
bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's also a bitch. Fuck that crazy gnome.
No, she's great.
No, she stabbed me.
You,
I
her
like
food
her.
literally sealed your wounds. It was so good.
It doesn't matter. The emotional damage is still there, and so is the scar.
No, that scar is clearly covered up by burn scars.
Yeah.
It's there,
It
though. You just have
cauterized.
to look closely.
I don't understand what's happening in chat. I'm so confused right now.
Oh.
Rated.
Should I look? We got rated?
Did we really? How fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Raven, for raiding with a party of 12.
Hey, all these tall,
You're
hot
the
Australians, man.
I don't know. There's 3 of them though.
My friend Kyle's a tall, hot Australian. You should date him.
Yeah, so we are,
Can't you tell him to date and won't date?
what was... I wish I could see what they were doing before they raided.
Not watching you.
Damn man.
Tell us in chat what you were doing before you raided.
Yeah, and give us your best
were
favorite
talking
quote from
about-
the movie Holes.
They were talking about tall, hot Australians.
Which
I'm a
is
fan.
never wrong.
Yeah, so we're here on the Zweihander RPG Twitch channel playing Zweihander RPG. Who would have thought?
Yes.
Which is a grim and perilous tabletop RPG. This show is called Scarlet Sash Stories. It follows the adventures of some prisoner soldiers as they go about their duties in a cursed land destroyed by a falling star. And so, Agent Bruce will write the requisition letter for you to grab. I need to find the page with their names on them, but the 4 really cool individuals from Fort Favor. And
The
then
guy who we said, well, we missed it, and he said, okay, 1 second, and he jumped out the window again.
yeah, a different one to demonstrate.
He's, well, I want you to see it.
So does everybody consent to flying on the airship to Pertswell? She's not really asking you, but she is sort of giving you the opportunity to be insubordinate.
Yeah,
I do think it's a wild decision. And I do think that as far as like heroic and well prepared soldiers, we're probably not even the list of top 100. But we do appreciate that you think we can do it.
And she takes note of that and says that, everything that has occurred over the border in Voshek Tadberg since the star fell presents the idea that regular soldiers going about things the way regular soldiers would wage a campaign is going to either inadvertently or without question spell disaster for those individuals. Like if you grabbed, 24 soldiers, flew them over in an airship and dropped them in Pertswell, where the situation, we don't even know sort of the condition of the city or what's going on, or, the castle and the doctor's lab, what the condition of that is. If you drop 12 seasoned veteran soldiers and they begin to, do what their training dictates, it's going to end in disaster versus an eclectic group of individuals who have been there and seen the strangeness and have a variety of skills at their disposal to deal with it and can sort of think on their feet better versus, standard operating procedure. She believes, and, she kind of gestures to herself as not like one of you, but as obviously as an elf, as, she's very striking looking as opposed to like a regular citizen of Lumerlin. I can appreciate, she says, the idea that being fluid with the situation is way more useful than being accomplished in your training.
So what you're saying is your soldiers can't handle the weird.
Well, they're not my soldiers, but the soldiers of Lumerlin absolutely can't handle the weird.
If anyone were her soldiers, it'd probably be us.
And she kind of gives you a wing. She says, I kind of like the sound of that. So, if we are to set off for Pertswell soon, you will need to do what you need to do to prepare. Say your goodbyes, pet your kittens, speak to whoever needs spoken
Pet
to,
your kittens.
and meet.
If we don't come back, you better make sure they're taken care of.
And she says, absolutely. I know Dorn, he's got a soft spot, and maybe we can figure something out.
I can haunt you if you don't fucking make sure that those cats are fucking taken care of.
I didn't realize that you all felt so strongly about those cats, but I can certainly...
Just the two of us.
I can certainly...
Heart size, he goes, I'm pretty sure they'd haunt you.
The cats will? Or
No,
the...
these ladies.
Those cats will never die, and they therefore will never be
Yeah.
ghosts.
Oh, I fully understand that the women will haunt me.
In a perhaps more optimistic, though perhaps still cynical point of view, if we do this mission, if we successfully recon the area, collect the intel or resources we need, and get back, is our debt paid?
And she nods her head and she gets a thoughtful look. She says, I think that we could make a hell of an argument to both Captain Macias and the assembled electors that, this group of sash bearers leading an operation deep into cursed,
Did you
cursed.
say hell yeah because he said the word deep, Nate?
Yeah.
He just came out of a drunken stupor,
Yeah.
heard deep.
Hell
and-
yeah.
Hell yeah.
You're deep,
Deep
in
into
Slinger.
enemy
Hell yeah.
territory. And recovering the information and means necessary to securing the lost provinces, I think that warrants a commutation of all of your sentences and a freeing from the sash bearers.
Nab kind of scoffs but doesn't say anything.
Hear that, Celine? You can go back to living in the woods all by yourself again.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Hey, Hunter.
Yes.
I don't have the fourth, but Halora, Borwin, and Jolie were
Yes.
three of the people.
Halora,
in
Borwin,
the-
Jolie, and
Yeah, I would always get Jolie's name wrong.
the last one was the bounty hunter guy.
Yeah, I didn't catch his name when we played.
Or no. Borwin was the bounty hunter. The last one was the big guy with the same profession as Nabeen. He was a whatever you are, and his name.
Cavalier.
Whatever you
Yeah, not a cavalier, but it's the other word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That one.
Dragoon.
Dragoon. Yes,
Dragoon.
and his name was something like vaguely Middle Eastern or something. I don't remember.
I don't know.
But I'll find the page
Is
here in a
Jolie the
second.
one that stabbed Celine?
Yes. Jolie stabbed
my
Celine.
favorite.
She was the excellent cook.
On accident.
Yeah, I mean on purpose.
Doesn't matter. She's
But
still my favorite.
yeah.
Still my favorite too.
Yeah, she's awesome. Borwin, the bounty hunter, he was the daredevil diving through windows. And then what was the third name? She was the leader. She was the human sledgehammer wielding Halora, yeah. She was the laborer, and she wielded her maul with deadly
Honestly,
effect.
meeting them was a little bit like that scene in Shaun of the Dead where they
the
groups walking
parties,
by each other, and it's like, wait, these two are just like each other.
Yeah, they each have their individual role. Yep. But yeah, so she will Agent Bruce will dismiss you five with the intention of recalling you soon to board the airship with Rosette and first mate Colic to venture north to the port city of Pertswell and to discover the secrets of Yinzo Sachiba's Orcs Research Laboratory. So yeah, if you guys have any like closing remarks that you would like to do among the people of Fort Bodeswell, word spreads pretty fast that Agent Bruce, this creepy woodsman, sort of like scary figure among the soldiers, has sort of gone above Captain Macias to requisition the airship and its crew for this like nutso deep probe into enemy territory, to kind of with the intention of sealing the deal once and for all. And so you are all treated, some of them treat you like you're marching off to your death, and some of them treat you like heroes, that like almost like this was your idea to go and do this, not necessarily only the woodsman's doing. But yeah, so the air in Fort Bodeswell, the mood changes as this word rapidly spreads.
Spoopy.
Yeah, is there any we're gonna switch back to that nice March song.
Wait, no, this is spooky. I like this.
Oh, you like this? Are you guys leaning into the suicide mission idea more? Because we can keep this music.
That's what this feels like. Feels
that.
very suicide mission.
Go ahead.
Is it possible for us to send letters out of the fort?
Depending on to whom, yes.
Okay. So I want to go, and most of the birds that we use are what exactly?
They are
remember.
doves.
Doves. Are there any different birds in the rookery?
I mean, like different species? Or
yeah, in general, sort of.
I mean, there are like. So, are you thinking like visually? Because we can have
like any larger birds.
Not really. It's predominant.
Okay.
It's literally all doves, which is like the
I'm mostly
primary.
worried just about the distance that they'll have to travel.
And so they, you know from living in this world that Message by Dove is renowned for its reliableness, in the idea that they will rest and try not to die in the process of delivering a letter, but maybe not so much for its speediness or,
Sure.
Expedited messaging. Because if you wanted to, like, say, send a message as fast as possible, you would probably do it by, like, horseback chain, where you would, like, have each member of the runners handed off through the night, whereas a dove will, like, rest at night and take flight during the day.
Well, normally where I'm from, an owl would be the preferred messenger.
Nerd.
That being said, I will write a note to send back home.
Okay. And you get the sense that the dove understands.
I was gonna say, I like speak a few words to it in like old Elven.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the Fey words of nature and that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
and it definitely responds in kind. It doesn't talk to you, not that that's what I meant, but it understands.
I know. And I am gonna write a note that basically says the lost daughter sends her regards. She marches to her death. Should she return, know that she invokes the old words, the elder law, and will claim the Azure Woods on her return.
Hell yeah. And actually, to the keen-eyed among us, that last sentence could be a little bit of a hint. I'm not gonna point it out too explicitly, but yeah. So you send the letter, and the dove takes flight. Anybody else who wants?
I stand at the edge of the rookery as the seasons begin to cool.
Yeah.
Feeling the icy chill amongst my heart as the bird flies into the black of the night.
Yeah. And at this point, it is like well into fall. It is like as you guys went through this, and Nabeen recovered, and Nesgrin set up this fight club and everything. From the beginning of the week to the end of this like 9 days or whatever, the temperature has cooled. It is, the days are getting shorter. We are, just as a note of like geography, in the southern hemisphere of this planet, and so
oh boy.
So to the south is very cold, and you can see on the map there's like the tribal council of Nababwabu would be like Siberia kind of stuff. And then to the north, where you guys will be flying a little bit, like Pertswell and the sea and everything, that's where the climate shifts warmer because you're actually approaching the equator as you fly north.
Celine would also like to send a letter.
Ooh. You mentioned your mom earlier. Is she still alive?
I did. Sure, Celine doesn't know, and Celine couldn't give two shits. We're not writing to her. Fuck that bitch.
All right.
Letter to me.
No, we're gonna. Cody's on the right track. We're gonna write a letter to the captain.
Ooh.
And it's basically just gonna say, "Hey, going on this mission. I'm gonna come back. So you can invite me to your room afterwards, or just something sleazy like she would do, just very
Perfect.
short to the point." So, and then that's it. She's like, "Hell yeah, this has to work, right?"
Yeah. Anybody else have any final Fort Bodeswell
Words?
activities?
I'm just basically kind of like one-track minding everything. And I'm still very much just like, give me decent equipment or so help me.
Yeah,
I will
so
stay on this airship.
You visit Sella like multiple
Yeah.
times, and she reassures you like, yes, I promise we have better stuff coming, like stuff worthy of a mantis. You will receive it before you go.
Good lass. And I'll pat her on the hip because that's all I can reach.
Yeah.
And I go.
Oh, I
Sexual
know
assault.
a few things I want to do. Besides, I mean, I'll get my some extra silver darts, I assume, before we leave.
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys there will be like a wholesale requisition in like to load up the airship for your departure. And so
Yeah.
basically the way that we can play it is that in a given situation when you're in Pertswell, you can be like, oh, like, what did we have on the airship? Be like, oh, well, you had like a large chest of silver darts or whatever. That would have like 20 or, something like that.
Celine will spend time at the alchemy table making 2 of her own special potions and 2 of her own special salves.
Okay. Yeah, so
So
roll me those real quick.
basically, she's gonna do it until she succeeds. So I can roll
perfect.
until I succeed 4 times if you want. But
no, we can just say that you have enough time to
sure
succeed.
You don't want like a critical fail or critical success.
Nah, I would say that you have the the means and the time to prepare.
Okay. Let me just roll some foreboding stuff. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
I like foreboding.
Oh.
Yeah, so the preparations begin underway. They're loading giant canisters of the lifting gas into the airship. The envelope. Actually, here, let's just do this. Give me 1 second. Let's block out this other. We don't need to. So you all watch, and this is a fairly large image. You may need to scroll out just a little bit. You all watch as the airship is loaded for bear for your guys' trip. Brief airship anatomy real quick. This is obviously the hull. This is where you stand, and you can go below decks. It's like a boat. These are the air screws. There's 3 of them. They are powered by that drive. So when you guys, in literally the very first episode, went to recover the airship that had crashed, you discovered that something weirdly magical had happened to the drive. And so all of this machinery was missing from the airship when you recovered it. It's obviously been replaced. This is the envelope, the like mushroom dome thing. It is not a single container of gas. It is a giant canvas like container filled with smaller like bubbles of the lifting gas. And so if you were to like shoot a cannon through the envelope, you would puncture like a bunch of small containers of gas, but all of the other self-contained pockets and bubbles of lifting gas would remain intact. So it's not like a single pinprick will bring the whole thing down. It is engineered to be war resistant. It comes with a single little cannon at the front right here, because cannons are really heavy. This is the crow's nest at the top. This is like a tower that you can climb inside of via ladder to get to the top of the crow's nest. And if you look over here on the right side, the crow's nest is equipped with a little mortar for shooting at other airships or at ground targets. Right here, this is obviously a top-down view. This is the cockpit, sort of captain's station, where there's like tons of levers and dials and stuff for changing, the pitch and the yaw and the attitude and the speed of these 3 air screws. And so that's brief rundown of how the airship looks and works. And so they are loading things below deck via this staircase. Giant metal canisters of lifting gas, crates of supplies and food and stuff. It's clear to you guys that Agent Bruce has kind of spared no expense or like no reach of her influence in getting you guys things for this mission. And you all sort of surmise that is because she is kind of staking her reputation on this in terms of like, we're gonna knock this out as soon as possible. We're gonna make all the electors happy. we're gonna, seal the deal, finish the job, move on to bigger things. So yeah, the fort is abuzz with activity leading up to this point.
Boy.
And 1 second while I find that piece of paper, because we do need to
Go get the psycho gnome.
yeah, we need to have them arrive.
Jesus, that fucking whack
Does
job. Come
does
with
Matcha
us.
come through with my fancy new armor?
He can't hear you. He doesn't have a wireless headset.
Oh,
You guys are gonna have to have your battle. We're fucked, guys.
You're fucked.
I found it.
Did
So
uh,
Should I just
You'll
drop
A
survive.
faith.
did Matcha come through with my fancy new armor, Hunter?
it? Yes. So you get your brigandine, and she looks at you, a little disappointed, almost kind of coy, and says that, given the circumstances and the fact that you were too busy to come and see me in this intervening time, I will gift you this armor if you promise to slam your sweating body against mine when you return alive.
Jesus Christ.
Don't you worry, I'll be happy to.
And she gives you a wink and hands the brigandine armor over.
You can only get so erect.
Nabeen.
Why does the captain talk to me like that? This is bullshit.
Because he's a fancy boy.
God, make me work for it.
Nabeen, you receive from Sella
A bomb. Bang.
a lit bomb. She says, "Good
Oh
luck."
shit.
A ticking sandwich.
You receive a pair of dueling pistols,
Oof.
which are extremely fancy, horrendously expensive in the book, but they are what you have been used to during your fighting career. These are rifled, so they use like mini ball ammo instead of like sphere shot.
Mhm.
So they're way more accurate. They are, pristine condition. And she gifts it to you sort of reverently. And she says, as a mantis, you deserve these. And especially given what that crazy woodsman has in store, I think you're going to need them. I can't imagine, not all of us here agree with what she's doing, but we're here to make sure that if we're going to do it, it's going to work. And so she hands you this case with the 2 dueling pistols, which actually, I believe, don't explode
Yay.
on
They
a
don't have volatile.
yeah, on a critical failure. They are not volatile.
Congratulations.
You are no longer fighting with bombs.
Yeah, you're not fighting with weapons. Yeah. Yeah, they're not volatile.
Sweet.
So they are forged and pressed in a way that even if the powder's too dry or poorly spaced, they will not harm you in the event of a misfire.
And I'll just kind of grin and nod my thanks and walk out.
And so the sash bearers make their way on the final day to the airship where it is moored outside of Fort Bodeswell. You see that Rosette Dupree and First Mate Colic are there. Also there, standing waiting to board are Borwin, the halfling bounty hunter, Jolie, the gnome camp follower, Helora, the human laborer, Hilal, the human dragoon,
That's it.
and none other than both captains Macias.
Oh, shit.
I'm giving her the stink eye.
So you see Captain Macias, your captain, with his wife, other Captain Macias, and she is as much a lifetime warrior that he is. She's tall, built, sword and shield, bright breastplate and kept uniform. And it's sort of like there's kind of a fanfare. I mean, obviously it's not like a celebration, but everybody from the fort has come to watch. They're sort of like seeing you off. It's the most interesting thing that's happened since somebody started a fight club in the basement.
Oh my god, is the bold guy there?
The what?
The
Oh
bulldog
yeah,
guy.
he's there. He's watching.
Yeah,
you can
guy.
you can hear
A
him.
bunch of people that are part of my group go, "Yeah, fuck you," and they beat him up in the crowd.
Yeah. So you can hear him making snide remarks about how this is how finally the Sash Bearers are gonna die. There's no way they're coming back from this.
He's probably right, but what are you gonna do?
And
I'm gonna save a dart for you, and I'm not gonna use it as a magic missile. I'm just gonna stick it in your ass.
yeah. So as you guys are boarding, everyone sort of climbs the ladder to the airship without incident, except for Celine.
Uh-oh.
As you are walking past the Captain's Macias, female Captain Macias stops you briefly and hands you a folded up piece of paper, and she says, "Should you return, we will be speaking."
Celine?
Yeah.
I just wanted Captain Macias to be like, this is the
And
one I
you-
told you about.
And
You
you
think this is you think it's a bad thing, but really she's gonna peg you.
Okay.
Yeah, and
It's-
you see that male Captain Macias is standing like stock still, 1,000-yard stare, like in the distance, sort of acknowledges you barely as you're boarding the airship.
Shit.
Yeah, and so you are joyfully reunited with Borwin, Jolie, Helora, and Halal. These are for Nesgrin. These are another group of Sash Bearers that came from a neighboring fort that the core group met up with during a mission and killed a spider horse. And they're all really cool. Everybody sort of hit it off pretty well, except for Trish, because nobody really likes Trish.
Racist piece of shit. It's what the bucket's
Yeah.
for.
Oh yeah, they
Bring the
load
bucket, right?
they load a barrel on with Trish inside, and they put her, under below
And right
decks.
next to it is the barrel full of buckets.
Yeah, there's a barrel of buckets next to Trish's bucket.
Oh, Jesus.
So Celine, you see that the paper that she handed you is the letter that you wrote to Captain Macias.
Damn.
And yeah, so Rosette is ecstatic to
Oh,
have
Rosie.
not only a functional airship now, but a crew of people to accompany her. It's kind of a tight fit because there's the 5 of you, the 4 Fort Favor Sash Bearers, Rosette, and Colic, and of course Trish in a barrel below decks. And so there's like just enough bunk space below decks. in this tower here, it is sort of just like wide enough as a square to accommodate like hammocks in some of the levels going up to the crow's nest. And so some people sleep, it's not super comfortable, but in hammocks in the tower. But the ship is just crammed full of, like you get cannon shot and mortar shot and gunpowder charges for all of that, and gunpowder for rifles and food, magical components, just like as much a variety of what the fort can provide that can be crammed into this honestly quite small airship. So this is like a sloop, so it's small and fast. There's more people on it already than is like the normal crew, between the like 12 of you that are on there. And so with some cheerful waving from the congregation and from the Fight Club goers, from Nabeen's fan club to Matcha making eyes at heart, and finally the Captain McKay is stealing a glance at Celine standing aboard the airship.
Whoops.
The airship.
She gives him an apologetic smile. If she moves his hand.
With the whine and grind of a magically powered drive, the airship takes to the air, and I have a song for this. And at first I thought that it was like way too happy and energetic, but honestly, I freaking love it, so we're gonna play it anyway.
Wait a second.
The airship takes to the air. This is like very much. I can turn it up a little bit.
This is Final Fantasy.
This is like so literally Final Fantasy airship music. But I love it. You take to the autumn sky early in the morning. Yeah, it's crisp and sunny. There are birds flying alongside you. Rosette takes you just below the cloud level, and sort of sets it at a like cruising altitude, and you sail through the air towards Pertswell. It will be a bit of a trip if we come back to.
Luckily, we brought a cook.
Exactly. So from Fort Boardswell, you will have to skirt the border of the Empire of Tosk, because this is something that I forgot to tell you as Agent Bruce, but she would have told you that the Empire of Tosk here to the north of the Lost Provinces has taken a staunch isolationist stance towards the whole cataclysm and everything. So they have like heavily secured their borders. They're not sending anybody over. They're barely accepting any refugees or anything. They're patrolling the border with their own like military airships, and there's rumors that they're like literally shooting down any airships that might approach too closely, thinking that they're like refugees or whatever.
It's like the Toscano line.
Yeah, so you have to, instead of doing a straight shot, which would, take you over part of their border, you got to kind of sloop your way at an angle to hopefully avoid angering them.
And really hope that our engine doesn't magically disappear.
Exactly, that would be very inconvenient.
That would be.
Did it stop?
It did.
It did.
Why did it stop?
That was so
God.
sad.
There we go. That was weird because it didn't have the stop button or anything clicked.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. Let's just see where we get. So you are on the way, flying day and night. You know, the drive that powers the airship is remarkably, stable and energy efficient. You know, every so often, Colic or Captain Rosette go down to like make some changes or whatever, but you can sort of set it and forget it in terms of like setting an altitude or whatever to fly. And things are essentially normal for a few days with you guys hanging out with your buds from Fort Favor and Rosette, who's super cool.
Plotting the downfall of the wife. What? Huh?
Yeah, plotting the downfall of
Bounty Hunter's like, how much?
yeah, Mrs. McKay is.
How much?
Rosette finds some time where her and Celine can be alone, and she shows you that she snuck some witchweed on board.
Oh fuck! Yeah, I'm getting blitzed with the captain.
Yeah.
Of the ship.
Uh,
Hell yeah!
Jolie comes up to Lillian and shows you a little note that she found in one of the requisition crates, and she says, "I think this is for you," and it's from Dorn. And it says, I thought that maybe you could use a little extra help while you're out there. And it has some of the mushrooms and cheese like prepared perfectly to be added into like a stew or something like that.
Oh, rad!
And so Jolie is super stoked about that because the last time that you guys shared those was after the spider horse fight.
And I'm like, don't tell anybody, but guess what? And I'll show her I still have one more wheel of cheese on me.
She's like, holy shit! And Halal approaches Nabeen, and he comments on your new firearms that I presume you were wearing on your hips.
Absolutely.
And he's like, damn, those are, what'd you have to do to get a hold of those?
I had to lose my temper.
Lose your temper? Oh man, it's a little bit easier than what I had to do to get my stuff, but let's not dive into that too much. So you must know your way around the firearm a little bit, I suppose.
You could say that, yeah.
So what, if you don't mind me asking, what got you in the Sash?
I just go stony and I'm just like, that's my business and not yours.
That's fair, I suppose. Just, we're trapped in, let's see, how even wide is this? Like 40 feet by, 120 feet of wooden space suspended hundreds of feet in the air. He's like, we're trapped here for another few days. Thought I would make idle conversation. There's not many around here that can appreciate the crack and sizzle of gunpowder, but I can give you your space.
And I'll grin at him, and I'm just like, you just have to work harder for it than that. And I walk away.
And so then Nesgrin, you see a curly-haired halfling approaches you and leans against the banister where you guys are sort of on deck enjoying the wind or whatever. And he says, I haven't seen you around before. These others here, we met up on a mission, but you must be new.
How old is he?
How old?
Yeah.
He's fairly young. He's like maybe 30s as a halfling. Has a mop of curly brown hair. What is his? I thought I had something else. Oh no, he doesn't have a second distinguishing feature. But yeah, he's Basically trying to make small talk, very personable, open posture, smiling face.
What,
Go ahead.
I just arrived here a couple of days ago. When did you get what are you doing here?
Well, I made my life before this as maybe one outside of the law, or at least on the very boundary of it, and how those of us who are, let's just say, shorter of stature or among the less human tend to be targeted these days in terms of criminal activity, and so I didn't make it too far after the star fell. And here I am, from prison to Red Sash to apparently airship on my way across Fauchek Tadberg.
You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah, welcome.
Not just like, what are your intentions? I'm just a child.
Jesus.
I was going the opposite way. You're a child.
Oh yeah, he's because
Because
you're pretty old.
Fucking elder. Yeah, I'm old. I'm elderly.
Yeah, and so he's like, I mean, I've got
That's
my life
funny.
ahead of you. You've probably got a few years ahead of you. It's kind of hard to tell with dwarves, and I can't even really. I don't know if to call you like Mrs. or Mister. I haven't met very many dwarves. Heart.
Her name is Mrs. Nesbitt.
And yeah, so he's just like, I'm just trying to get to know you. I spent some time with the others. For diving headfirst into danger, we should, we could trade pleasantries if you want.
We could exchange percentages. But you can call me master.
Well, hello, master. And he makes a like very formal, exaggerated bow.
This guy gets it.
And so you continue through the days flying, and Rosette on like the third or fourth day comes out and says, it's been smooth sailing from here on out. But as we approach Pertswell and we get closer to the border with the Empire of Tosk, we're going to have to talk about if things go south. So this here, and she pulls out this rope that has like clasps at the end. This is your safety rope. And you see, she walks over to the edge of the airship like deck, and there's this railing that sort of goes around kind of at chest height. She says, you take the clasp of the rope, clasp it to yourself where it's not going to fall off, and you take the other side and you clasp it to the airship. Because if you happen to, say, not be standing on the airship at some point during a fight, you will want to not fall to your death and only maybe break a bone when you slam against the side. And this policy applies to anywhere on the airship. If you are in the crow's nest, fucking clasp yourself to the airship. If you are in the envelope doing something that I asked you to do, clasp yourself to the airship. If you are below decks, you damn well better be clasping yourself to the airship, because these things have a tendency to get holes in them. So, I will be handing out the clasping ropes, and she hands out all of ropes to each of you, and try to make a habit of, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you're sleeping in your bunk, clasp yourself. You're eating food below decks with Jolie, clasp yourself. You're doing maintenance on one of the air screws, 20 feet off the deck, probably clasp yourself to the airship. And so
Nav
she
leans over to Hart and is just like, what are we, like, fucking 5 years old? My goats.
and she
Celine's
go ahead.
gonna raise her hand with like a question.
Yes, Celine.
What if someone's having sex?
if you're having sex anywhere on the airship, you both better damn well be clasped in, because you never know what could happen.
Does this mean we have to wear belts when we have sex now?
Yes.
Jesus
You need to
Christ,
be,
Oh.
no matter what
Nice.
you're doing, you need to be wearing a secured piece of clothing to which you can attach your clasp. I don't recommend, using an appendage of any kind, because you want to, if you were to reach the end of your rope while falling off the airship, you want whatever it's attached to stop you and not rip off as you fall.
I think Celine could probably lock it into one of the knots in her hair. Those have been there for years.
Rosette walks
Lillian.
over. She walks over and she is studying Celine's hair. She's like,
Hart,
There's
Hart,
Get out of here.
Hart looks at the clasp and then looks down his pants.
Do it, Heart. Do it.
And she's like, those tangles look like they have good tensile strength, but I don't know. I would still recommend, a belt, a sash of some kind that you might have, something that's going to arrest your descent to the earth.
Where am I gonna get a sash?
I know, right?
Weird.
And so she walks you through a few other, drills and emergency things. The lifting gas is extremely flammable, as well as ridiculously buoyant. It's also the fuel that they inject into the drive. So it's both the agent for lifting the airship as well as powering the drive that pushes the air screws.
This is
And
like magic nuclear material.
it is. It's essentially a combination of helium and hydrogen gas. Not like a literal combination. I took qualities from both of those, put them into a single thing, and that's what they use for the fuel and the buoyancy. She gives you a brief rundown of the cannon and the mortar. Does anybody here have the warfare skill?
I
Fuck
believe
no.
I do.
I think
Almost
Nabeen
certainly
does.
not.
I'm a hedgewise, bro.
I'm a priest. I don't have
I do.
warfare.
Yeah.
I think I get it with my next job, but not now.
Okay. Yeah, so warfare is generally the operation of siege machinery and that sort of thing. So she gives special
Hart has
direction.
warfare.
Who does?
Hart has warfare.
There you go.
Oh, nice. So she gives special direction with the assistance of First Mate Colic to Hart and Nabeen on the operation of the front cannon and how to safely load it underneath the envelope. And obviously she points above you. She's like, there's only a certain angle to which you can elevate the cannon before you will shoot our own airship with the cannon. If you are trying to target something at a high angle, you need to be in the crow's nest using the mortar. And both Hart and Nabeen are familiar with these types of weaponry. They're basically smaller versions of a siege cannon and a siege mortar, fit for an airship.
Yeah, and I kind of imagine that this is not Nab's first rodeo on an airship.
Oh yeah,
either.
yeah. So you've been on airships, you've fired cannons, you've done all kinds of warfare stuff, and yeah.
Asking, is this so I've been reading about this before we went, and is it true that you can execute one of your own people to raise morale on the ship? I read about that.
And she looks at you and says, in very desperate situations, there is always the option of throwing someone overboard to inspire, camaraderie and obedience. among-
Don't forget that, Colic. I got my eyes on you.
And I
And-
turn to the captain and I'm just like, but don't forget, you can also throw the captain overboard. And I'm clearly trying to
as a joke or whatever, or
not a
or
joke,
be
but
yeah.
just punch you on the shoulder kind of
Yep.
build.
And she's
Don't
like,
Don't worry, Rosie. We would never
I
get
feel
rid of
like
you,
I'm in
mostly
my element
because
right
we
now.
can't fly back without you.
does anybody have the pilot skill? That would be another thing that she would show people if they had
Let's-
aptitude.
Where we're going, we don't need pilots.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I do.
crashing. You're describing crashing.
Yeah.
It's falling with
Well-
style.
With style.
Yeah, so she
Elaine expects us to crash. What do you mean?
I mean, I expect us to crash too, but I don't want to.
she will lead you up to the captain's deck here, which is basically just like a raised platform that's like almost uncomfortably close to the bottom of the envelope. And she shows you this just like absolutely like labyrinthine array of like levers and rotator dials and just like all kinds of nutsy stuff that is connected to the drive down below, and sort of does kind of a walkthrough of like, if I do this, then it changes the angle of the two side screws, and if I do this, it angles the rear screw up and down.
Yes, but which of these buttons makes it go?
And she looks at you, and she kind of like gestures to the whole thing, and is like,
Oh, yes, of course.
yeah.
Yes, obviously. Yeah.
And then-
Obviously.
and then she says, finally, if what happened to me last time while piloting this airship and the drive and air screws seemingly disappear into thin air, we will be executing a maneuver I like to call crashing into a forest. And we will aim for the tallest trees to slow our descent as we shatter against the earth and presumably all die. And then Colleague's like,
the aftermath of that.
yeah, Colleague's like, we didn't die last time. And Rosette's like, that's not as reassuring as you think it is, Colleague.
And I just walk over to the corner and like, yeah, this is great. And then I just like look to myself, I'm like, we are in the sky in the face of gods and men. No one was ever meant to do this. This is an abomination in the face of all that is holy.
I
No,
say,
we're good.
fuck
I
the
just
gods.
slap you on the back and then like go strap myself in somewhere and take a nap.
And
Puke overboard.
yeah,
Some
so
orc a million miles down is hit.
Oh, what?
God damn it.
Fucking hoppies.
And so the sort of swooping flight path continues as you fly over forest and river and countryside. From here, the view of like the fallen star and where Big Sar used to be and everything, it's like more haunting because you have like, you can see way farther towards the horizon, where this like pulsating, coalescing, almost like manifestation of the winds of magic is just like roiling. The landscape is dotted with smoke from different fires at different settlements and everything that you're flying over. It is truly a fallen land that you are passing over. And things progress essentially normally up until
Tuesday. The scariest of all days.
you guys are all going about your business. It's been about 5-ish days when Rosette climbs down the tower from the crow's nest and like clinks together her little spyglass that she was using, and she looks a little troubled. And she says to you guys, or whoever is around, she's like, well, I saw something in the distance. Not entirely sure what it was. I saw it for just a little bit as cloud cover moved across my vision. But I think I saw another airship.
Oh, okay. I was all excited.
So I saw a dragon coming to get us. No.
No, I thought it was going to be a floating tower.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Ain't nothing.
Yeah.
To
On
be
a float
afraid
of it,
of.
awesome.
Yeah, that's a good idea, but Korna is following your instructions and staying far away.
Yeah.
Um,
A castle in the sky, pretty far away.
yeah. It's a single tower that flies.
I
It's
mean,
not a
we're
whole
like 5
castle.
days. We're like 5 days northwest at this point. That's pretty far. We could encounter her.
Yeah, but I think you guys told her to go like literally not that direction.
I thought we
know.
told her to head east from where we met her,
I have no idea. Maybe.
which would be further into the Lost Colony.
Oh wait, you guys are already on the maps.
I agreed with Celine.
There said there were some. You said there were some mountains somewhere.
Yeah, so the mountains, if you look at this topographical,
That's. Oh.
it's
wait,
to the
those are-
south. This
oh,
is
those
this.
mountains.
Yeah, like here or like way far away. But yeah, so I sort of assumed that you told her because she would have been like right here where you guys found her. She would have flown either to these mountains or like farther this way to.
No,
or,
this is good.
yeah. That's sort of what I assumed. And so then you guys would be obviously flying the opposite direction.
Okay.
Um,
Sad.
We'll go visit.
Yeah. But
Once we
yeah,
got
so
our freedom.
she says I saw what I think was an airship. It looked off. Like maybe there was damage or something. I'm going to keep an eye on it. It is sort of directly in our flight path. We can try to skirt east or west a little bit. West obviously takes us closer to the Empire of Tosk and their blockade, which is a little bit sketchy. And east, or no, I did that wrong. Sorry. East takes us closer to the Empire of Tosk, and west would take us, farther out on this loop. But hopefully we can dodge whatever it was I saw. And as
If it suddenly goes quiet, Nab is bailing.
she's jumping off the.
Yep.
Jesus.
Celine was gonna do something.
When she's all done talking, Celine's gonna go to the front of the ship and like peer over, strapping herself in just in case,
Yeah.
because she's gonna put on her blindfold and cast Witch Sight.
All right.
I barely made it.
Nice.
This side, this side.
Yeah. So you see something off in the distance to the north, in air, sort of at roughly the same altitude as you, a sort of coalescing of the winds of magic around. And obviously you know that the drive is magical in some way that
Yeah.
like powers these things. But yeah, you can pretty reliably track where it is bearing wise and altitude wise just in the winds of magic.
Okay, I'll yell at Rosette and be like, "Hey, I can see it," and she'll like point in the general direction.
And she like
Hold
walks up to you and like sees you with a fucking blindfold on, pointing into what is essentially like a dense bank of clouds, and she's like, you can see the drive signature. You can
Yeah.
see it. Oh my god. And she like takes off
I
running
sure
without
can.
saying anything. And she comes back and she like she puts something in your hand and she's like, point this always where it is. And you see that it's a compass with like a adjustable dial or whatever. And it's hard to make out with the blindfold on and the winds of magic, but you
Yeah.
can pretty reliably, designate. And she says, every minute, I need you to call out the bearing.
Okay.
And so then her and Call kind of like jump to action as Celine is standing almost like a figurehead at the front of a Viking ship with this compass and blindfold on, screaming out numbers every so often. And they advise you guys to sort of get battle gear, get your weapons, things could get a little dicey. We don't know exactly what's going on. And this progresses probably another hour or so of flying. Celine's voice is getting a little hoarse at this point as she's been calling out bearing numbers. Oh, no, kitty.
When someone else come yell, just stare at it for me. I'll point.
Oh, yeah, you can recruit someone like Jolie or whatever comes over.
Yeah. Not you.
I'm
And
like, no one else go over there. No one else. Just let him.
and you guys all see, in this, like, it becomes tense on the airship. Where's a good tense music?
I am clipped in 4 different directions. Oh.
That's not really tense, but it's fine. As the airship rounds this bank of clouds and it kind of like parts dramatically, and you all can see off in the distance, probably still a good ways away, there is another airship, a little bit larger than the one that you guys are in, but it does look weird because it's kind of sitting in the air, like the hull is kind of cockeyed, and the envelope is like pockmarked and sort of misshapen, and it looks like this airship is kind of either like severely damaged or like something like hit it or whatever. And
It's the Flying Dutchman.
exactly, it kind of looks like a ghost ship almost, like sort of suspended in air, not really moving in any direction with purpose. And you guys approach, sort of giving it a wide berth, and Celine notices first that there's a distinct change in the winds of magic surrounding it as the drive fires up and the air screws power on, and it begins sort of pushing on an intercept vector towards you guys.
It's coming!
And you hear Rosette from the back of the ship. She goes, "Shit, I was hoping that, I don't know, that it was abandoned or something, or that..." Anyway, okay, we absolutely need to be ready. Something is wrong here. Everybody, battle stations, get to where you need to be, because I think things are going to get a little dicey. And as she says that, the airship approaches... Was this the good one? Yeah. The airship approaches at a pretty rapid pace, growing larger in everybody's view. And assume you're all kind of like posted up on the railings. Everybody absolutely should be clipped in because Rosette reminded you 100 times. People
Celine's just up somewhere.
Go ahead.
Oh, I can move you to this. Sorry, I'm dumb.
Yeah.
Celine's up somewhere relatively high, so she's got a good bird's eye view because magic missile,
Yeah.
Also, how many silver darts was I given?
So you were given a box of 25 silver darts. You can carry on you probably like 10 easily. And so the crow's nest, if you want to be somewhere high, is, significantly higher than the deck of the ship. And it can fit, if you look at it on the map, this is all to scale, it can fit uncomfortably 4 people, sort of crammed around the mortar and everything. But it's kind of designed for 2-ish individuals.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go as well.
Okay.
So.
If you guys want to drag your tokens to where you are on the ship, that would be sick, because this is gonna be obviously some combat.
Oh no!
Combat.
You couldn't pay me
combat ready.
to go anywhere other than the hull of this ship.
Below decks. You're like, I will protect our provisions.
You're a thing. I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I can probably kill it.
It's not
I
letting
need
me
a,
kill it.
I need a token.
Oh, you don't have a token yet.
Wow.
I am a
unfair.
bad
Wow.
DM. Let's.
GM.
You guys ready?
Always ready.
Well, don't be too ready,
Hold fast.
Never
because
ready.
it's almost 1 o'clock.
Cast off. Man the lines.
Yep.
Tell
So
everyone the
let's.
story
Well,
about how I met
Thick
Dad.
loaf of
I
bread.
was gonna say. I was gonna say that earlier.
Yeah, me too.
When he first
get-
mentioned it, I was like, "Let's get a story."
Yeah, I'll give you a story.
a story.
Yeah. You want the story of how I met Death? It's a pirate story.
That's a good story.
Well, if we
You want-
survive this, I'll tell you about it.
I'll
You
give.
wanna hear about the
Here's a red token for you, Nesgrin. We will get you a real one for next week. Oh, but you won't be here next week.
No, I won't.
You want to hear the story of
Well-
the night that I snuck away with Matcha?
We will.
No.
We will get
Not
you
at
a real
all.
one for next week, even though you won't be here. Yeah, so this, like, as the engines spin up on this weird misshapen airship, it's like billowing a trail of smoke from its rear end as it's pushing towards you. And then the weirdest, sort of like hard to discern thing happens as a cloud of like small black dots emerge from
Oh, mother.
beneath the ship. And you see Rosette like slinks out her spyglass to look in the distance, and her face kind of like goes really white, and she's like, what in the hell? And you all see approaching in the air, I'm pretty sure yep, here we go.
Oh,
Are-
God, winds will hide.
It's a cloud of monsters
What in the action?
that look like this, but they have bat wings.
Oh my God.
And so they are on the wing towards you.
Demon chocobos.
That's like a fucking cockatrice.
It's
That is
called
nothing like a cockatrice.
it's called a fodderling. And those of you familiar with Warhammer Fantasy, they are usually called
Squig.
squigs. Yeah, that's right. So these are
That's neat.
they are winged. They're literally like a mouth on clawed feet, covered in like hard scales. It's these winged fodderlings, and
Baby.
it is a veritable cloud of them, like dozens on the wing between you guys and this strange, decrepit ghost ship floating towards you.
Where was that cannon again?
Cannon is at the front of the ship, and right now the enemy ship is kind of at an angle towards you guys as you were sort of trying to swoop around it, give it a wide berth. But they are coming for you. And that is where we will end episode 13. Mid-air, demon babies approaching on the wing. The combined force of Fort Bodeswell
God.
and Fort Favor Sash Bearers loaded for bear against whatever strange threat may await them above the cursed land of Oshake Tadberg. And so, let's turn the music to something a little less.
I have a question.
What is your question?
How large are these things? Just for my knowledge, my character doesn't have to know.
They're like hip tall to a human.
Okay,
So
I
they're
was gonna
like
say hip tall to me.
so they're like almost
Eat you in a bite.
they're like my height.
they're like almost ovular. So they're like 3 feet tall, 3 feet wide, mouth and teeth at the front, little tail in the back.
You little babies.
Yeah, like a little feisty ball of murderous energy.
They're just little Kirby boys.
The things from Doom.
Yeah, and so they're haphazardly flapping and colliding into each other and snarling and spitting their way through the air towards you guys.
You can pet them.
What was that?
Would
Don't
love
worry.
to.
You can pet them.
Yeah. Anybody have animal handling? Just,
Yeah,
I do.
I've been using it to train my rat, remember?
there you go.
Winslow. He's learning.
So yeah, that was episode 13. A little bit of slice of Fort Bodeswell life and the beginnings of a climactic mission to rid the lost provinces of the orc menace. Yeah, that was pretty
Don't
cool.
you worry. I'm gonna kick those demon
Cool, cool,
babies'
cool.
asses, finish the mission, go back and sweep the captain off his feet.
Sweep
after I
him
kick
off
his
his
wife in the
feet.
face.
Yeah.
And then he will crush you under his weight.
Yep. Beat up his
That's
wife,
And
sweep
I'm
him off his feet.
What she wants.
And I'm gonna teach Matcha the new combat style of love wrestling.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's some
It's
anime
easy.
nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, get a club and just club her. Right. With his dick.
Something like that.
Exactly.
Yep.
So yeah. Thank you everybody for watching. This has been a show brought to you by Fiends and Friends in partnership with Zweihander RPG and the wonderful people at Grim and
Dang,
Perilous
that's good.
Publishing. We, as Fiends and Friends, have 2 other shows that air every week. The most soonest is tomorrow.
The most
The most soonest is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central on the Fiends and Friends Twitch channel. So not here on the official Zweihander channel, but over on our channel, we will be doing some Fantasy High D&D 5th edition in Pinehaven Havoc, a game that is run by Cody O'Hare in the bottom left corner. And then the following Wednesday, so August 25th, this coming Wednesday, we have another show called Fleeting Fiends, in which we play one-shot campaigns, 2 sessions each, of a variety of tabletop RPG systems. This next Wednesday will be the first session of Mass Effect 5th Edition, which is a conversion of the Mass Effect video role-playing games into the D&D 5th Edition gaming system. And it's going to
If
be...
you want to watch that, we have an Elcor.
Yeah, it's going to be super cool.
Elcor and a Hanar.
Yeah, Elcor,
And
Hanar,
a Krogan.
Krogan.
And a Krogan.
We have a
And a
Solarian.
Solarian.
It's going to be nuts. And so our 3 primary shows, once again, Scarlet Sash Stories on Friday, Pinehaven Havoc on Saturdays, and Fleeting Fiends, a rotating system show every Wednesday. So
Yeah.
check us out on social media. We have every conceivable platform that you can think of. We've got Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, all of it. We've got a Patreon if you're feeling particularly giving in terms of monetary support. We're obviously
Yeah.
live here on the Zweihander channel a lot. What else? Anything else to add?
Join the Discord.
Oh yeah, we have a
And then
Discord.
Discord.
Someone should link that thing.
I can drop a Discord link probably. Invite.
Where we stream from, and if you want to have any say in what we do, or if you maybe want to try and be in a show with us one day, you can hop in there, and we're always happy to be very collaborative.
What on earth have I done? Paste.
What have I done?
Yeah, so that's
What
the
have I
Discord.
done?
We'll be posting community polls, and yeah, you can take part in some of the games that we play, especially like on Feeding Fiends. Yeah, so thank you again for watching. We are concluding since it is 1 o'clock, which is when we usually stop. And sick. Let's have thank you to Nathan in the upper left, Topher below him,
Damn right.
Cody in the bottom left, Chris in the bottom middle, Ignacio in the bottom right, and myself, Hunter, your humble DM. We all had a wonderful time. Thank you for watching. Check us out tomorrow. Check us out on Wednesday. And we will see you another time. Good night.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Good night. Bye bye.